Live from Minneapolis, Minnesota, CSN Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. It's game 2 of this 3-game series between the Stros and the Twins. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum back with you. The Astros winners last night. 6 consecutive road wins now. Not too bad for the ball club. And just a nice night overall for a number of the guys.
Yeah, the weather wasn't great. A little bit of a rain delay, but it didn't deter these guys at all. Still went out there. Great pitching, great defense, and timely hitting.
Long balls played a big part again. And of course, the offense, when you talk timely hitting, has been a big part of what they've been able to do with this 6-game road winning streak. 314, the batting average in that span. They've hit 11 home runs, 3 of them last night, and just a crazy home run by George Springer. But that offense is kicking, but other facets of the game going awfully well on top of that.
Yeah, they're firing on all cylinders, and that 6.5 runs a game is great, but that ERA down below the 2s is what's pretty impressive. Doing that on the road, some hostile environments. The Astros pitchers getting it done. That strike to walkout ratio is great. Not many guys getting on base, and when they do, they don't score. So it's great all-around baseball right now by the Houston Astros.
And you look at the home runs, got it started last night by Marwin Gonzalez, and this was a no-doubt shot.
He's dropping bombs last night, taking advantage of some of these big ballparks, which is weird to say, but the Houston Astros, for whatever reason, have a tendency to drive the ball out of some of these bigger ballparks. Here in Minnesota, doing a great job of making this place look like a postage stamp, but that's timely hitting, getting those great hits, and the pitching backed him up, even though that game got a little tight last night.
Dallas Keuchel was good last night. It took some great defense to get it all done when it was all said and done, and beyond the start from Keuchel, the bullpen was aided on top of that, and Dexter Fowler, probably the one play that was just eye-popping.
Yeah, with Keuchel on the mound, wasn't as sharp as we have seen him in the past, but had some help from his friends, especially Matt Dominguez back there, doing a great job laying out, keeping that runner at third, not allowing him to score. And Altuve playing cheating in, was able to get there. But this was the play of the night last night. That ball driven in the gap could have led to a couple more runs, potentially keeping the tying run off the base pass. But those long strides from Dexter Fowler, cutting down on that and making a phenomenal catch.
Coming up, George Springer's power and energy have been a blast to watch on the field. But how is his brand of enthusiasm playing in the clubhouse? Julia Morales and Blummer break it all down when we return. Comcast Sportsnet's presentation of Houston Astros baseball is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box and try Jack's new Blazing Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet.
Two of a three-game series between the Astros and the Twins. The Astros looking to grab another series win, something we've seen a lot from this club lately. A very energetic ball club. A lot of new faces in there as well. And one of the guys that's really helped that come along is the 24-year-old that's playing out in right field, George Springer. He launched his 11th home run last night in the win against the Twins, looking a lot more comfortable in the big leagues since being called up. He's hit 11 home runs since May 8th. Remember, he was received AL Rookie of the Month, and that first home run came in Detroit. And when he took off, so did the Astros offense. Since that game on May 8th, if you look at the numbers for the entire Astros offense there, the batting average hanging around 260, OBP 340, and that ranks second in the league in that span. The club has 29 home runs tied for fifth, but wins coming a lot more often, 17 wins. And if you ask Springer, he'll tell you he's come a long way as far as all aspects of the game, feeling much more comfortable, slowing things down. And now I bring in Jeff Blum, who will be calling the game up in the booth. Blummer's been in a lot of clubhouses as well, and you've seen Springer come along offensively, defensively, but that energy we talk about a lot, how can that affect the clubhouse?
Well, obviously, you're seeing a lot of joy out of these guys down in that clubhouse. That's a culture we really didn't see in the last couple of years with the Houston Astros. So I think this kid, one of those intangibles that you can't really see when you see a guy on paper, you see him go out there and play until he gets to this level, and there's a lot more intimate action that we get to see with the cameras all over the place. But this kid brings a lot of excitement. It's rubbing off on the other guys. They want to play hard. They want to win. And they see the exuberance that's coming out of that kid right there. And in George Springer and John Singleton, those guys are bringing a lot of noise from that minor league system. That the culture here is going to change. It's going to start winning. They did it in the minor leagues, and now they're bringing it here to show what some of these guys like Carlos Corporon, Jason Castro, who have been mired in that 3 season of 100 losses now. So these guys are enjoying the time that Springer's here.
Thank you for your insight, Blummer. George Springer, it's been fun to watch. So is this Astros ball club. Have a good call up there. Coming up, George Springer isn't the only one slowing things down. The Astros making things look easy these days. Today, they look to keep their road winning streak alive here at Target Field. Don't go anywhere. We have first pitch next.
Minnesota, sign of last night's Astros 5-4 win, 6 consecutive road wins, as we've been talking about for the Astros. The fans are bundled up. We've had a little rain in the area. It's on the cool side. We will keep the windows closed in that lineup for the Astros today, presented by Jack in the Box. Top 3 in the order: Dexter Fowler in center. At second base, it's Jose Altuve, and in right field, George Springer, who slammed his 11th home run in last night's game. Middle 3. Jason Castro behind the plate again at third base. Matt Dominguez, he was laying leather all over the place. John Singleton at first base. In the bottom three, Alex Presley in left. The DH today is Jesus Guzman and Marwin Gonzalez, who hit a long home run last night back at shortstop.
For the Minnesota Twins, it's going to be 6'6" Kyle Gibson. Numbers on the season: 4-5, 4.35 ERA. Left-handed hitters are right at 287. He's going to feature a fastball, slider, changeup, rarely a curveball.
Last night's game was the first meeting of the year between these two teams, so the Astros up 1-0 in that regard. The Twins had it their way last year, and they've had it their way in the lifetime series between these two clubs. The Astros are the hotter of the two clubs coming into play today. Pitch is lined softly. This is going to dunk in shallow left field. So a leadoff single for Dexter Fowler, who comes into play hitting .268. So Dexter right around that .270 mark, and the on-base percentage has been fantastic.
Getting back into that leadoff role for Dexter Fowler. We saw it there early on in the season. A little bit off the end of the bat, but that's sometimes all you got to do off some of these sinker ball pitchers. Just give it a good poke, and that's what the Astros want to see leading off this game.
So Fowler aboard. It brings up Jose Altuve, hitting .316. Had a big hit again last night. Jose Altuve just continues to swing the bat well, playing great defense, and takes the ball to start it. 90 miles an hour now on that fastball from Kyle Gibson.
Yeah, not a firm thrower. Relies on that two-seamer about like you just said, Ash, 90 miles an hour. Keep it down in the zone. He's 6'6", so he creates that kind of a high release point, which allows him to throw that ball down in the zone and create a different plane than you would normally see.
See a lot of pitchers throwing over on Dexter Fowler. He's stolen just 6 bags in 9 tries on the year. So the running game has not been a huge part of what Dexter has done, but what he has done very well is get on base. On base percentage at .376 at the start of play. Fly ball to right, easy and right, as Parmalee puts it away, and the first out of the ball game.
Target field. Guys out on the field dodging raindrops this afternoon. In right field, Chris Parmalee, Aaron Hicks in center, Josh Willingham in left field. Around the infield, Trevor Plouffe at third base, Eduardo Escobar at short, Brian Dozier at second base, former catcher Joe Mauer at first, and Kurt Suzuki behind the plate.
That'll bring up George Springer. Had a bit of a long night last night in some regards. Struck out 3 times, but mixed in there, he hit a home run opposite field on a pitch down and away that has left everybody asking how on earth did he do it. And basically the answer is, well, nobody else can, but George Springer is the one guy that can pull it off. His 11th on the year. It was a 2-run shot, 34 RBIs now for George. And again, that focus on Dexter Fowler at first base. The Astros have run very well as a club. 45 stolen bases, caught just 15 times, and they're among the leaders in that regard. They are second in the league in terms of stolen bases. There's the slide step, and a good slider. That slide step on its own will stop the running game.
Saw Dallas Keuchel last night. Great slide step. Nobody has a chance to steal off of him. It's a nice weapon when you have it.
We've mentioned the 3 home runs hit by the Astros last night. They've hit 65 as a club. And now 0-2 on Springer, 3rd best in the American League. So when you talk Astros offense and what they've done well this year, the long ball and the running game with the stolen bases, that's not a bad way to go about starting to move yourself into a solid position offensively. With the batting average, they're second to last in the league. As a club, the Astros hitting .237, but that's a big improvement where they have been, especially back in the month of April.
Well, there's a team leading the West, I believe the Oakland Athletics, who do a great job, not with the batting average, but the on-base percentage and the timely hitting.
It's in the dirt.
Pretty good pick by Kurt Suzuki.
Suzuki back behind the plate again, as is Jason Castro. That's just that jammed fastball into the ground. One and two the count on Springer. One out here in the first inning. And again, love to get in the head of a guy like Kyle Gibson and find out why with that slide step there's so much concern about Dexter Fowler at first. When you talk running game with the Astros, it's Altuve that does the bulk of the work. And Springer down on strikes. So the strikeout has reemerged as a big problem now for George, but he continues to hit the home run ball.
All sliders in this at bat for George Springer that he swung and missed. Last night we saw Phil Hughes beat him high with some heaters. But here showing a little susceptibility to that slider breaking off the outside corner.
With two down and Fowler still at first base, it brings up catcher Jason Castro. Jason hitting .230, has 6 bombs on the year. And he's been productive driving in the runs, 27 ribbies. Castro takes a close pitch. Matt Dominguez waits on deck.
Imagine if Castro got hot in the middle of this lineup. That would be a huge boost to this lineup also.
And it is very seldom you get 8 or 9 guys hot at the same time. But if you get Castro and Matt Dominguez kind of going, and of course Chris Carter can play a big part in that regard. The Astros have some options to get much better, not just a little bit better, but much better offensively.
It's got to be the toughest part as a manager, finding those guys at the right moments and plugging them in at the right times to get those bats going and really enhance what you already got going.
A ball and a strike on Jason. That's well spotted, but no call. So the early indications would be that the strike zone is a bit tight. Alfonso Marquez is the home plate umpire. You can see that one just off the edge.
Good discipline by Castro.
Changeup and a good one. It's 2-2. On the pitching side of the game, the Astros starting pitching now 7th in the league in terms of ERA at 3.91. The Oakland A's continue to lead, and they've been the easy leaders in the run differential this year. Pitching has been at the top of the board. The offense has been at the top of the board. They have thrown something together in Oakland. Foul tip hung on to by Suzuki, and that'll do it. A couple of strikeouts in the first inning for Kyle Gibson. We're scoreless after a half. Party Gnome Day here in Minnesota, Target Field. Ron Gardenhire, the longtime manager of these Minnesota Twins. You can see the perfect resemblance the Gnome has to Ron Gardenhire. We're scoreless after half an inning.
I'm not buying.
You're not buying into it. Well, I'll let you have time to state your case. Right after the starting lineup for the Twins, Danny Santana's the DH. At second, Brian Dozier. And at first, Joe Mauer, Josh Willingham. And left at third, Trevor Plouffe. And the right fielders, Chris Parmelee this afternoon. Bottom three, Kurt Suzuki behind the plate. Shortstop, Eduardo Escobar and Aaron Hicks back in center field.
Scott Feldman for the Houston Astros. We saw him have a great April, going 2-1 with a 1.69. May was not as kind. 1-1 with a 4.71. And here in June, his first start on the first of the month, went 5 1/3, giving up 9 earned runs.
Yeah, the wins have been tough to come by for Scott Feldman, though he spots that first pitch nicely at 88 miles an hour.
Going to see some similar pitching techniques from Feldman and Gibson. Big, tall guys trying to create that downward angle. Good sink on the ball. A lot of ground balls.
And again, nicely placed down and away. 0-2 the count. It'd be nice to see Scott get back in that groove that he seemed to have early on in the season when he could throw a strike at will.
Well, early on in April, I think it was that breaking ball that was really effective for him. That game he had in Texas had those guys befuddled. There's that pitch.
That one slips on by. 1-2 the count. Feldman lost his last start, that against Baltimore in the recent homestand, 5 1/3 innings, allowed 11 hits and 9 earned runs. And at the start of that night, I felt like he was throwing the ball well. A drive to right field, easy for Springer as he glides toward the line, and out number 1.
Getting a chance to see a pretty standard defensive lineman except in left field, where Alex Presley's out there, taken up for Robbie Grossman, who was out there last night, and then Fowler in center, Springer in right, around the infield, Domingo at third base, Marwin Gonzalez earning the right to start at shortstop, Altuve, Singleton at first and second base, and then Castro behind the plate.
So let me ask you about shortstop. With VR out, and I watched him throw, and he seems to be throwing pretty well as of this morning. Does Marwin Gonzalez get the starts now until maybe the bat cools off a bit?
I think so. We talked about it in that top of the inning. How tough it can be for a manager trying to find these guys to plug in at the right time and use them when they're hot.
Trying to bunt his way on. Brian Dozier has the count at 0-2.
But I think Marwin's done a good job and earned the right to go out there and play. And who knows, sometimes that time off for a guy like VR, a young kid, give him a chance to regroup a little bit. Hitting under 200. A little extra time. If you know you're not starting, you can go in there and into the cage and kind of wear yourself out trying to find that swing again.
So maybe not a bad thing to sit back and breathe for a little while.
It's a luxury having a guy like Marwin Gonzalez.
2-2 the count.
Because it's not a knock for me against Jonathan VR. I think he's a great player and has a chance to do some special things. Just the timing is not his right now. He's stick-cuffling a little bit, gets hit in the arm. So there's some things working against him.
Line drive left field. Not far from it. Alex Presley who makes the play. 2 fly ball outs here in the first. It'll bring up Joe Mauer. You know, and back on Marwin a bit. How many teams have a utility guy, and I think the honest answer is nobody does, who's hitting 340 right about now. Doing a great job defensively wherever you put him. Marwin plays shortstop like a guy who's a regular shortstop. At least that's the way he's played so far. Swings from both sides and has done a fine job with the bat. Joe Mauer hitting .269, takes a strike at the knees. Scott Feldman's got the paintbrush out here in the first inning.
Looking pretty good with Alfonso Marquez back there, home plate umpire.
And 2 strikes and very well placed. That last start that we mentioned for Feldman wound up a 9-4 Orioles win over the Astros. The Astros and Orioles split that series 2 games apiece. Then the Angels came to town and the Astros took 2 out of 3. Winning road trip and a winning homestand back to back, and that's been impressive for the club.
Road record up to 13-17 Astros playing 500. If they could get to playing 500 ball on the road, that would be pretty impressive.
Well, if they could get to 500 at home, would be impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a club trying to take steps forward, not necessarily jump right into the World Series. But they've taken some very nice strides forward here in recent times.
Yeah, the trends are moving in the right direction.
In that Orioles win over Feldman in the game, that was the one where Manny Machado hit the grand slam.
These grand slams always come back to bite you.
They tend to play large, and Dallas Keuchel has played very large. Down on strikes, Joe Mauer. So a nice, impressive first inning, 1-2-3 for Scott Feldman. We're scoreless after an inning of play here at Target Field.
Astros and Twins. And let's celebrate Faith and Family Night with your Houston Astros Saturday, June 14th, following the 3:10 p.m. game against the Tampa Bay Rays, featuring a post-game concert with Christian rock band Mercy Me. For tickets, visit astros.com/faith.
We go to the second inning. Apparently there's plenty of food out there, Blummer. I don't know if you've had your hands on any yet this morning, but those donuts last night,
oh my,
really good.
Paying the price.
I'm not sure I've had better.
Oh man, those were pretty incredible. A warm Shipley's donut is great. That bucket of donuts last night was incredible.
If they had just been generous with the brown sugar on top, would have been nice. Matt Dominguez leads it off, hitting .254, 9 bombs on the year, 25 ribbies. There we go.
Donuts.
Yeah. They don't distribute them by the little box.
Yeah, they might slap you if you go up there and ask for just 2. You're taking the whole bucket and you're liking it.
Good luck, buddy. Ground ball to third. That'll back. Plouffe. The long throw and the tag applied at first base by Joe Mauer. So out number 1 here in the second inning. Only 1 hit here on the afternoon. Dexter Fowler with a leadoff single, but he was stranded at first in the first.
Pretty good play. Matt Dominguez had himself a night last night, going 3 for 4. His counterpart taking away a hit right there. Pretty nifty play by Joe Mauer over there at first base.
Joe Mauer has become that first baseman now. Really not a catcher anymore. That drops the value considerably. When you've got a catcher that wins batting titles and has huge MVP seasons, as Mauer used to do, what a player he was.
I think it's still there, and this is a tough play for a first baseman going into that base runner. You know you got to come off and keep that ball from passing you, but at the same time you got to create a little give in that left arm, because I've seen plenty of broken wrists and elbow injuries from doing that. That's the last thing Twins fans want to see from that guy. Good play.
No, I think what most of the folks here would like to see is have him play 155 plus games this year. And that has not been the case for quite some while. 1 out for John Singleton. And John's had a rough go with the bat. hitting 133, on base percentage at 188. That first home run, though, how sweet was that in his first major league game?
It's pretty awesome.
Mom and dad and family members at Minute Maid Park. Some good times for the Singleton gang. Gibson brings the 1-2. And the high heat is fouled back. Let's flash back to that first night for John Singleton.
Heater over that outer third, just some crazy extension. Nice play by Chad Pauls. And there's some of that excitement that Julia was hitting on earlier.
Mom in the red there. Yeah, that was a big-time night.
Moms always show that true emotion, too.
You know, she contained herself, though. She sat. She looked joyous. Dad was more contained, shall we say?
Yeah, a little bit. A little more reserved.
Yeah.
Almost like he knew it was going to happen.
Well, he said he believed in the confidence that John himself has. 2-2 pitch. That's lined into center field. Base hit for Singleton as he bats with one out here in the second inning. So John Singleton trying to break out of the funk that has wrapped itself around him.
Pretty interesting to watch the replay on the home run. It's a fastball away. He gets extended on, and here, same situation. Does a good job of keeping his head down on that ball, staying through it. This is something the Astro fans could get used to. And we didn't see Springer get called up and just light it up either.
No, you're right.
We saw him struggle a little bit trying to find his way. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say this guy might be a little more relaxed and secure, knowing that he's got a 5-year contract.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
Doesn't have to panic about what he's doing at the plate.
Now 3 for 15 is John Singleton. So that batting average jumps a bit up to 200 with that base hit. Yeah, I think he's going to be just fine. And when you mention the way Springer was, I'd say, you know, there's a good part of that still here. We're seeing the strikeouts again. On the last road trip, he found something that had him making contact, and when he makes contact, look out. I wouldn't want to be pitching against him.
Baseball is hard.
Very.
I don't care how good you are, how talented, how mentally strong you are. It is hard.
No doubt. You know, it looks really easy on TV. It looks maybe as easy from the ballpark. But with each stride you take from the dugout to the batter's box, this game gets exponentially more difficult. You don't realize what that little spheroid at 90-some miles an hour can look like when you stand at home plate.
Yeah, at times it can look like a beach ball, but there's a lot of times it comes up there like an aspirin tablet.
Suffice it to say, it doesn't look like it does on the camera.
Man, I wish it did. I'm better now that I'm up here.
Well, you'd still be playing, though, and the money's much better here, I hear.
It's changed a little bit.
1-2 the count on Alex Presley, who's hitting .243.
These are good revenge at bats for Alex Presley, the former Twin.
You'd like to do something if you're Alex Presley right about now. Word is that he thought at the end of spring training he was going to make the Twins club, and he wanted to be here. But then he got word from his agent that he had been picked up by the Astros. Pitch in the dirt, and now getting back into first is Singleton. So alert base running. John was going to try to grab second base, and as he does that, we check in with Julia. Oh, Julia.
Hello.
Okay.
There's the mic.
You know what, Julia? I messed with you right there. I was just feeling the waves here in the ballpark, and I thought you were ready for us, but you go back to your snooze, okay?
I know I'm always ready. You were talking Presley, and you said revenge at bats. He said he doesn't have a calendar. This isn't one that he circles on, but he was looking forward to see some of these guys, and you touched on it. He thought he'd be the starting center fielder for the Twins this year. He played with them a little bit last year, but kind of a whirlwind month.
And Presley down on strikes, so sometimes you come back and you try a bit too hard, but carry on. That's 3 strikeouts now for Gibson.
Pretty good changeup from the big right-hander.
That was effective. Jesus Guzman gets the DH role this afternoon. He'll stand in. Guzman, you reflect back to opening day, the first pitch he saw hit a bomb for a home run, and it's been a bit more sparse since. 2 home runs overall and 4 ribbies for the Astros, occasional first baseman and DH.
Pretty unique seeing Jesus get in there and get the DH spot against a right-hander. Usually he's that left-handed specialist.
Robbie Grossman takes a ride on the pine this afternoon. But you got to keep all the guys going.
Well, that goes into trying to find the right mix. Maybe this is the one. Maybe there was a inkling that Bo Porter had, or maybe something he saw in his stats that said, hey, let's give Jesus a shot. Certainly hope it happens.
Swing and a miss. What were some of the aspects or qualities of a manager that you really enjoyed playing for?
Well, I played most of my career in the National League, so there was a lot of opportunity for the double switches, the pinch hitting, the spot starts. But I know that the best years I had were with managers who really did a good job of rotating some of those role player types like the Marwin Gonzalez's, Jesus Guzman's into those games and gave them opportunities and put them in situations where they knew they were going to play and they had a chance to succeed when they played, facing guys that they were comfortable against. Maybe ballparks that they hit really well in.
So you knew he was paying attention to your individual successes.
Exactly.
And
no, I think it was very personal for some of those guys to look at. And those were managers that were ex-players that understood how to put those guys in those situations.
Get that overall feel for the game. Guzman watches one low, and the count at 2-2. We're 2 outs here in the second inning. And game 2 here in the series. I remember vividly listening to Dodger games when I was a kid with Duke Snider on the team and Vin Scully saying 2-2, 2 outs on the Duke. Well, with the 2-2 down on strikes is Jesus Guzman. That'll do it for the Astros in the second inning. 4 strikeouts already for Kyle Gibson.
Between the Astros and Twins. Make sure to log on to csnhouston.com and head on to Astros In-Game Live, where you can follow the action like never before. You can also vote for Player of the Game, and the winner will be revealed during Astros Post-Game Live. It's Astros In-Game Live on csnhouston.com. Scott Feldman gets back to work. Bo Porter hoping to see the guy that he saw early in the season before Feldman landed on the DL. Blummer talking about the breaking ball being the difference. Feldman agrees. He said when it comes to how the hitters have had more success lately, it's just because he's not able to locate it. I asked if he'd been changing anything mechanically, trying to get back to the way he was. He said, no, at this point in my career, there's not much I can do there. Just got to locate it, guys.
Great report by Julia, as always. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Josh Willingham, the left fielder and 4-hitter for the Twins, will stand in. Scoreless ball game. The Astros with the only 2 hits on the afternoon. Those picked up by Dexter Fowler and John Singleton. Willingham is a big-time hitter. .309 the batting average. Just 4 home runs so far, but he's got plenty of power. Feldman with a little off-speed slider.
Seen a lot more of those from Scott Feldman.
Didn't that look like it just floated in there?
Well, he backed it up at like 85 miles an hour. It might have spun out of his hand a little bit and turned into that cement mixer, but threw a couple earlier in the first inning where he good hard break to it. I'm not sure what he was trying to do with that one. That was 77. But that slider, he can throw it between 88 and 85 miles an hour, and that 88 mile an hour one's a little more of a cutter, and he backdoored a couple to Joe Mauer to get that punch out on him.
Willingham, 35 years of age, so he's been around. Former 17th round pick back in 2000, that by the Florida Marlins. And now it's 2-2. But we talk of some of the offensive prowess possessed by Willingham. He's a guy with 185 lifetime home runs, so he's got a legitimate chance to get to 200 on his career.
That always looks like he's so wound up in the box and then just explodes.
And that fastball almost exploded the arm.
Kind of a Jeff Conine looking type player to me. Doesn't really finish the swing.
Did you play against Conine much?
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, he kind of stand there and wouldn't look like he's ready to hit, and all of a sudden he'd turbo hook one down there. Oh, got him on that one.
Now, so one gets away a little bit, and then going all the way with having it get away. Feldman sees that fastball drill Willingham. So the leadoff man reaches here in the second inning in a painful way.
Just getting on the side of that pitch right there, Feldman did. If that was a fastball, I'd be a little bit concerned if I was Willingham, considering the pitch before was up and in, and then you get drilled. But that was an off-speed pitch. I don't think there was any intention behind that one from Feldman.
Can't imagine. Especially to a leadoff hitter in an inning. I think you generally, if you've got a beef with somebody, you wait until a better situation. And that one gets away from Castro.
Some bacon grease on this ball this afternoon.
It was a callable pitch, too, I thought. Trevor Plouffe at the plate. He's the third baseman.
Of course you think it's callable. You're a catcher.
Of course.
Where was that, Blue?
Of course, if I'm hitting, I might have had a different tale. Everything was callable when I was hitting. And a strike on the outside corner. It's 1-1. Plouffe hitting .250. 5 dingers, 35 RBIs. If you're wondering about Willingham, doesn't run a whole lot over his career, even though he hasn't stolen a base this year. 33 bags, caught just 9 times. And now 2-1 the count. The same story goes for hitters. You can be locked in and then lose it in a heartbeat. Feldman very sharp in the first inning, and now here in the second, struggling with command. Toss over and just a step back to the bag for Willingham. Trevor Plouffe, 27 years of age, from your neck of the woods, Encino, California. Ground ball to third. Dominguez will back and have this one kick into left field off the glove. So Matt Dominguez, who had 2 throwing errors and some other outstanding plays last night, will be charged with an error on this 2-hopper. That was setting up to be a legitimate shot for a double play.
Be interested to talk to Matt Dominguez and see if this ballpark's messing with him at all. Sometimes you come into these visiting ballparks and the cuts of the grass are different. You find yourself out of position. The only reason I say that because that ground ball right here was that in-between hop. He tried to take that drop step and field it a little bit deeper, but it just ate him alive.
Willingham and Plouffe aboard. Not a whole lot of speed out there for Chris Parmelee, who gets a start in right field this afternoon. Parmelee hitting just 172. That's a little pop. 3 dingers on the year. Little backdoor effort with the cutter. 1 ball and no strikes.
It's got to be frustrating as a pitcher. Kind of scuffling a little bit. Scott Feldman is with the touch and the location. You finally get a ground ball. It could be a double play situation, and it's kicked. Now you got first and second, nobody out.
Meeting at the mound briefly. Marwin Gonzalez taking the part of Jonathan Villar, who always seems to be out there at the mound on the meetings, and I don't know if that's by design. The shortstop coming in with the Astros.
Just nosy.
Why do the infielders want to know what the pitcher and catcher are talking about?
I stayed away from pitchers.
Were you one of those third basemen that just kind of hung at the bag?
Yeah. I had more fun talking to the third base coach and the third base umpire.
Did you ever learn anything good there?
Good restaurants. Talk to an umpire. These guys travel so much, they have really good idea.
That's a good idea
about restaurants. That's how I found out about North Beach in San Francisco when we go through there. Poncino, Larry Poncino, the old umpire, gave me that one.
North Beach being an Italian restaurant, and so I guess that kind of makes sense. You got the tip from the right guy, huh? Yeah. By the way, we've got a hello to hand out to a number of the firemen from the Houston area. Captain Renaud, or Renaud's brother, section 122, row 15, and he's got a bunch of the firefighters from Houston with him. So a big hello to Captain Renaud and his brother and the gang here. Have yourself a great time. And a strike is called. Evens the count at 2-2 on Parmalee. About the third base coaches, they ever? Oh, there's the gang. Which one is the brother? Okay,
pretty well represented. They got the Astro jersey and all the fireman patches on there. I like that.
Nice drive down the right side, but way foul. This is the brother of Captain Renaud, who, along with, what was it, I believe 4 firefighters, died in the fire off of 59 last year. Just a tragic circumstance. And they've been a big part of Astros baseball since that time. 2-2 pitch, fouled back. And the Astros no doubt glad to have all the firefighters come on out and then have some enjoyable times.
His brother was a big Astro fan, and they kind of do these trips in honor of him. A little pilgrimage north here to watch the Astros and Twins. Always appreciate seeing those fans when you're on the road.
I have a daughter who's a firefighter, and I kind of know that's a tough line of work. 2-2 pitch, again fouled, this on the left side. Chris Parmalee playing in just his 21st game on the year. He's a Chino Hills, California guy, born in Long Beach. Former first rounder, 20th pick overall, that in 2006. And now a full count. Not a lot of speed on the bases. The lead runner is Josh Willingham, but a 3-2 count. You send them from their bags and trust Parmalee to make contact. That's the decision for Ron Gardenhire.
No chance.
That was the draft, by the way, when Luke Hochevar was selected first by the Royals. And the runners hold their ground, listening to Blummer as it's fouled back. I think otherwise they would have been gone. Evan Longoria was the third pick in that draft. Clayton Kershaw. How does a Clayton Kershaw slip to number 7 in the draft? And I mean, that gives you the idea of how difficult it is to spot these guys at those early ages.
Yeah, because it's not necessarily like football where you say, man, we need a defensive back, we're going to go get this guy. You know, you're trying to project what you need 3 or 4 years down the line. Kershaw would have been a great guy to have.
That just popped up shallow in left field. On comes Presley. He'll make the catch and a key first out here in the second inning. As the runners hold, that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki. Yeah, listen to this list. Kershaw went number 7. Tim Lincecum number 10. Max Scherzer was the 11th pick of the draft. Yeah, Kyle Drabek also later on in that first round, and Ian Kennedy was the 21st pick.
So you're saying there's some pitching to be chosen in that draft
that may not come in the 1, 2, 3 slots. I mean, there's yeah, that was a loaded draft.
Some strong arms.
Hank Conger, the catcher with the Angels, also later in that first round. Boatload of talent. Feldman finds the strike zone. It's 0-1. Yeah, that first round, 2006, kind of a who's who of guys who are in the big leagues right now. Brad Lincoln, who was out of the University of Houston, was a first rounder, the 4th overall. A ball and a strike. Just the second inning. Kind of a slow moving ball game so far.
Yeah, both pitchers really slowing it down. Runners on base.
Kurt Suzuki has been around and he's done a nice job. One of those real solid defensive catchers, and hasn't been bad with the bat either. 255 lifetime, has 69 home runs. And a 2-1 count. And then you can talk about drafts that didn't go all that well for a lot of clubs. Suzuki was selected in 2004. And a number of the guys around him simply didn't make it to the major leagues. 3-1 the count. So Feldman in a precarious spot now. A walk would load him up with 1 out. Feldman, that long look in. And ball 4. So they are loaded up right now as Eduardo Escobar, the shortstop, comes to the plate.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in this afternoon's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. What a double play ball right here with the bases juiced. Might qualify for one of those Miller Time moments.
That would be handy. You make a promise that you would turn back to it and highlight it if they come up with a double play here. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, let's put it on the list.
And I see your list and it's rather lengthy, but
I've got a lot of ideas.
We'll take a shot. Pitch in the dirt. Castro keeps it in front. Well, that came close, it appeared anyway, to the back foot of the shortstop, Escobar. Yeah, not so close.
Nice play by Alfonso Marquez, the home plate umpire.
Jason Castro not quite getting down on a number of breaking balls in the dirt or close in the dirt here recently.
Makes you wonder how that knee's feeling.
Yeah, and yet you haven't heard a word, or I haven't anyway, about the knee. Fastball down at the knees is fouled off. A ball and a strike. Escobar had a big night last night. Went 3 for 4, had 2 doubles, drove in a run, and now hitting .315. Not too bad career with the bases loaded. 4 for 8. Escobar has hit in 3 straight. 4 of his last 5. And a strike called. Good close pitch. And a 1-2 count. There's your bottom of the knees. And as a pitcher, how you need that pitch. It's the 3rd game in which Escobar has played against Houston on his brief career. And he has figured out how to be a thorn in the side of the Astros. 4 for 7 lifetime against Houston. Big moment for Scott Feldman. Sometimes they come early, sometimes late, but if you don't get through the early ones, you don't have the shot at the late ones. And got him swinging. Talk about big strikeouts. That's one for you. 2 outs here in the second inning. Base is still loaded for the 9-hitter, Aaron Hicks.
Yes, movement on that one from Scott Feldman. Much needed.
And now Aaron Hicks will stand in. We mentioned last night that Hicks, who has been a switch hitter, is now just a right-hand hitter. And word was that he thought he might get sent back to the minor leagues to work on this new approach, but he stayed right here. The Twins have had numerous injuries. And that first slider finds the strike zone. You would think that if Scott Feldman got word about Hicks and that he's no longer batting left-handed, that slider might be maybe even a larger part of the repertoire against him, because this would be a pitch that Hicks has simply not seen from the right side of the plate.
And they know that's in the scouting report.
Again, the breaking ball.
That's a little more of a slurvy pitch from Scott Feldman. We're used to seeing that 12-6 hammer from the tall right-hander. But Hicks showed a good job of staying off that pitch right there.
A 1-1 count, still scoreless. Feldman trying to keep it right there. And again, the breaking ball, that smaller slider, and a 1-2 count.
Well, that'll create some issues. If you haven't seen these pitches consistently, I think that's part of the reason he may have thought he was trying to go back to the minor leagues to figure these things out. Instead, he's up here where the learning curve has to be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that was not the best of locations there for Scott Feldman, but you throw that little small slider against a guy who hasn't batted right-handed against righties, and you just gain a strike. Ground ball off the glove of Feldman. Gonzalez drops it, and everybody's safe. The Twins will pick up the first run of the afternoon, and we'll see how this is ruled. But Marwin Gonzalez unable to make the play back of second base.
Would have been a tough play. Hicks moves pretty good down the line. See Feldman's interest in it too.
It is an E6.
It's a tough one, especially with runners in scoring position.
And there was no shot to get an out at the bag at second base, as Altuve had moved back behind the bag. Also the possibility of needing to make that play. So it is an E6. So the first run of the afternoon comes for the Twins. The Astros with 2 errors here in the inning. Matt Dominguez on the ground ball hit by Trevor Plouffe. Potential double play ground ball. That is certainly big in the inning, and it could have had 2 outs and nobody on to start the inning. See Altuve moving back behind this ball as well. So there was no short flip to the bag at second base.
Just catching that thumb. That's how close it is to making a great play and a not great play.
It's the leadoff man Santana at the plate, and a 1-1 count.
For Scott Feldman, you're just trying to minimize damage here. A lot of base runners this inning, a lot of pitches being thrown. Next pitch will be his 51st on the game here in the second inning. Like to get out of this inning with all these base runners with only giving up 1 run.
And a shot through the right side. That's a base hit. Springer charges. 1 run scores. The throw to the plate not in time. 2-run single for Danny Santana, and the Twins with a 3-0 lead, and all 3 runs unearned here in the second.
It's early, but a couple mistakes defensively, a hit by pitch, and now a big base hit with 2 outs, runners in scoring position. And again, just a little cutter that found the middle of the plate.
Just had a nice throw by George Springer, cuttable for the first baseman Singleton, and that keeps the runner, that trail runner Santana at first base. Here's what George looked like.
Did a good job making sure he caught that ball. Rain earlier today. The tarp's been on all day. They hadn't had a chance to get on the field and take batting practice, but did a good job of making sure he caught that ball. Had a good grip and kept that ball low, like you said, Ash, in case they needed to cut it.
So runners at the corners. Brent Strom comes out to chat things over with his big right-hander Feldman. And sometimes there's the reminder that, look, this isn't your fault, a couple of errors behind you, but let's minimize the damage right here and now.
Yeah, keep him in the game. Paul Clemens is out there getting loose for the Houston Astros in the bullpen.
How tough did you find it to be for a pitcher when a couple of errors might be committed by the infield behind, to where a pitcher could say to himself, look, I've gotten already 4 outs here in the inning. It's not my fault.
I don't think many guys would go out there and say, hey, it's not my fault, and start pointing fingers. Those are the guys that, you know, take out behind the sand berm after a game maybe and say, hey, you know, let's play a little bit more of a team game. We're giving it our all. We're not doing this on purpose. We understand we are responsible for some of the causes of this. But we've all got to battle together. I mean, the last thing an infielder wants to do is boot a ball with runners in scoring position or at any time.
Three runs in here in the second inning. Two-hitter Brian Dozier at the plate, flying to left field in the first inning. Dozier's driven in 30 for the Twins this year. Shows bunt, drops one, but foul on the third base line. Matt Dominguez was playing deep, and so Dozier just figures, let's see if we can get a freebie run.
See Matty D playing deep, and that's why Dozier opted for the bunt. Try and steal an easy RBI right here with the bunt. Got Joe Mauer and Willingham coming up behind you. Just keep that carousel moving.
A 1-1 count on Dozier. Brian Dozier has had a very nice start to the year for the Twins. The batting average not sky high, but that's kind of who Dozier is. Went hitless last night in 5 at-bats, did have a strikeout, and now has a 2-1 count. But 12 home runs on the year. Paints a big story. 10 doubles. Came into play last night with a 5-game hitting streak. And now Feldman throws to first. Last home run for Dozier came back on the 3rd, that against Milwaukee.
Oh, yes. Milwaukee.
Is that a fave city of yours? Runner goes from first. Breaking ball up and in, and no throw from Castro. Nobody even covering, so a freebie there. It is a stolen base, number 4 on the year for Danny Santana. I'm not a fan of just allowing teams to put a man in scoring position. But the 3-1 now fouled back. 3-2 the count. Waiting on deck is Joe Mauer.
It's a big 90 feet.
It is, because it turns a single into an extra run.
Precisely.
I've never liked it in the 9th inning when you've got a 5-run lead, for example, whatever the case may be, and you play back and you let a guy move into second, and then the pitcher gives up a base hit and a run is charged to him. And I think those are really tough runs for pitchers to have to suck up. Again, it's fouled back.
Not really hitting his spots. This is Scott Feldman.
Yeah, and again, the first inning looked really good. I thought he was spotting it very well. Have you found the pitch count board here? Let's see, in left center field.
The bullpens, yeah.
And that's ball 4. So that pitch count is mounting now for Scott Feldman. Got to load him back up and bring up the 9th hitter of the inning. That's Joe Mauer.
Bases loaded again. Both Porters coming out. So trying to bring that breaking ball back over the inside.
So Scott Feldman is done. He works just an inning and 2/3. 2 costly errors by the infield here in the 2nd inning. And Feldman cannot escape. That does not look like a pitcher who felt he was ready to be removed from this game.
Well, things really weren't going in his favor, and it might have been a couple of things. You know, the combination of errors, a hit by pitch, a couple of walks, base hit. But I think, you know, in the dugout, Bo Porter's also got to look at velocity and location. Is he still effective? And he wasn't very effective here coming into this outing.
Paul Clemens jogs it in. We're in the 2nd, and we'll be right back.
On top of the Astros here. The 2nd. And remember, it's time for you to tweet your photos using hashtag CSNH fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. Guys.
Thanks a lot, Julia. Paul Clemens comes on now. And again, very short afternoon for Scott Feldman, who works just an inning and 2/3. And how the defense let him down, but at the same time seemed to lose all the sharpness that we saw back in the 1st inning. Clemens needs to keep it right here. 3-0 Minnesota as Clemens misses on that first offering to Mauer. Clemens last worked 2 days ago against the Angels. 1 inning, allowed a couple of hits and a run. After a very sharp outing, a couple of scoreless innings against Baltimore. And now a 2-0 count. It's a big assignment. You come in with the bases loaded. Those guys belong to Feldman. I think the responsibility level has to be huge here.
Yeah, this is not an enviable position for Paul Clemens to be in. But you got to play the cards you're dealt. It's one of those situations where it goes a long way if you succeed.
On the 2-0, that hitter's count, it's not even close. So you come in out of the bullpen. The mindset has to be, I'm ready to throw strikes. But Paul Clemens is not apparently ready here in this 2nd inning. Just the 3rd outing now for Paul since being recalled to the club. That one, Brett Oberholzer was sent to the minor leagues. A move at the time that seemed a bit surprising. The Astros had 6 starting pitchers. Oberholzer had pitched extremely well in his 2 starts with the club since his recall, but he was the name that got picked out of the lottery hat to go back to Oklahoma City. Fastball hit in the air, right center field. Springer going back and calling, and makes the catch. So Clemens, after falling behind 3-0, comes back and gets Joe Mauer. 3-0 Minnesota.
Giving up 3 runs. Now the Astros are down to the Twins. Looking to come back in this ball game, and one guy that could start it off with a quick swing of the bat is Marwin Gonzalez. We saw it last night. Fastball off of Phil Hughes right down the middle, and Marwin Gonzalez barreled it up. Knew it was gone, put his head down, and broke into that trot. The early OPS monster for the Houston Astros last night.
Of course, Marwin with one of the 2 errors committed in that second inning, costing Scott Feldman. Feldman's line 1 2/3, 1 hit allowed, 3 runs. They were all unearned, a couple of walks and a couple of strikeouts. A bunt and a good one, third base side. Gibson with the play, and perfectly done as he gets Marwin Gonzalez.
What a great bunt. What a better play by Gibson. Big man, 6'6". Ambling off the mound, made a great play on that one.
Imagine Marwin thought when he dropped this down, I've got it here.
Out.
Well, Gibson really did make a fine play. But one club making the defensive plays, the other not. Back to the top, Dexter Fowler had a base hit, now a 5-game hitting streak as he lined one into right field.
It's early. The Houston Astros offense on the road has been fantastic. You saw the numbers in the open. 3-run leads, nothing for them. They're averaging 6.5 runs during that stretch, so still some fireworks left to be seen.
Yeah, the road play. Do you ever find that going back home kind of slowed the bats down, but when you got back on the road, for whatever reason, your club became re-energized?
Well, there's so much ebb and flow during the course of the season. I think these guys have done a good job, and the Astros have a unique situation playing in that Western Division where they've got to go back a couple hours to play some of these West Coast foes, and I thought it was pretty impressive on that 10-game trip where they went 6-4, going through Anaheim, up to Seattle, and back down to Kansas City. You know, it shows a maturation, too, for this ball club growing up and being able to deal with that adversity. Those aren't easy road trips, and winning on the road is a key to championships.
Three-1 to Dexter. Hit on a hop to shortstop. That goes on by Escobar. So Fowler will reach, and we'll see how this is ruled. The infielder's having a tough time here this afternoon.
I'm giving him a knock on that one. That was a tough play. Kind of a swinging changeup. Had some English on it off the left-handed end of the bat.
They have ruled it a base hit. Jeff Blum has his ins with the score. Greg Wong is that scorer.
Just a little bit of a squirrely hop for the shortstop.
So Dexter Fowler 2 for 2 on his afternoon. He's aboard with 1 out as Jose Altuve stands in. Altuve flied to right in the first.
And a left-handed hitter for a shortstop, you can see that spin kind of inside outing. Once it gets to that dirt, and as moist as it is, it gets a little tacky out there, and you can't really have enough time to read that hop.
Fastball is inside. 2-0 on Altuve. Again, Fowler with just 6 stolen bases on the year.
It's a good way to start out this inning. Marwin almost got that base hit, but good to see Dexter Fowler turning over this lineup with the base hit. And I agree with you. This is a good situation to have him steal in, not maybe a 2-0 count where you're almost guaranteed a fastball.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is this a time where maybe you try to peck away, pick up a run here and a run there? Maybe employ the hit and run with Altuve, who's so good at hitting the ball the other way.
Well, he's got 18 doubles on the season, but still, you'd like to get Dexter Fowler 90 feet closer into scoring position, being at second base, make it a little bit easier for Altuve just to punch a ball into the outfield and have him score.
3-1 the count. Altuve just 1 for 4 in last night's game. Did drive in a run with his evening. Fowler does not go. The pitch line to center field, but there, after moving to his right, is Hicks, and out number 2 here in the 3rd inning. That'll bring up George Springer.
Enjoy a Father's Day picnic on the field in Minute Maid Park on June 15th after the 1:10 p.m. game against the Tampa Bay Rays. Admission includes a game ticket, post-game picnic buffet in the outfield, autograph session, and much more. For tickets, visit astros.com/picnic.
Springer, a strikeout victim in the 1st inning. The first of the 4 on this afternoon by Kyle Gibson. And George takes a strike. Hit his 11th home run last year, opposite field job, and you had to see it to truly not believe it. I mean, there are home runs that you go, wow, that was impressive. And then there are home runs where you say, guys can't do that.
Yeah, there's just certain things in this game that shouldn't happen unless you've got an incredible talent like George Springer does. So much strength. Good to see it and watch that. Not really on balance, but the hands are back. That's such a big key for big league hitters to have those hands back. Sometimes that lower half can get a little out of control or you get fooled. But if the hands are back, you still have the ability to drive it. Maybe not quite like Springer does. The average human maybe just gets a single or double out of it.
Ball and a strike. You know, you look at George in a uniform, and I think his physical strength might go unnoticed until he swings the bat. But he is a specimen.
Yeah, he does a good job of creating leverage. Got good whip in that bat.
The 1-1 on the hands and just blown up. The ground ball goes to Maurer, who feeds to Gibson, and that'll do it for Houston. They get a hit and leave him. They're down 3-0 after 2.5.
And Jason Castro joins Astros legend Larry Dierker for an autograph signing at Whataburger. Head to 13270 Northwest Freeway from 11 to noon, June 12th. Sign up to be the Whataburger fan and win great prizes, including lunch with Reed Ryan. Visit Astros.com for more info, guys.
Modern technology is amazing. It sounds like Julia's right here with us, but great work by all the gang. Thanks, Julia.
She's always lingering in the background somewhere.
I wish she'd come on up and spend a little time, maybe get us some hot chocolate, something like that. That'd be cool.
Can't have hot chocolate on June 7th.
That's true. A little bit chilly here in Minnesota. Some people keep the windows closed this way as we start the bottom of the third inning. Cleanup man Josh Willingham at the plate. He was hit by a pitch to start that second inning. That's where the Twins scored all 3 of their runs. So there was the hit batter, a couple of walks, a base hit, and a couple of errors. And that's how the inning that did in Scott Feldman went.
43 pitches to get that done.
What do you think when you're all done with that about how you went about your work for the last 5 days? You come out and that's what happens.
It's got to be frustrating as a pitcher.
Paul Clemens on the hill now for Houston, and he got that final out of the second inning as he got Mauer to fly out on a 3-1 pitch. That with the bases loaded, it could have been a much bigger second inning for Minnesota. Ground ball third base side, backing and making the play this time is Dominguez, but that throw low. Able to make the play is Singleton, and the first out here in the third.
Time now for the AT&T Rewind, and it's last night. Phenomenal catch off the bat of Trevor Plouffe out there into center field. You can see the closing speed from Dexter Fowler, realizing how important this play would be later on. Just a fantastic way to make a great play, and you can see the reaction from the opposing manager. Ron Gardenhire cannot believe that happened to his third baseman. And that reaction got frozen in time. What's underneath the hat there?
I would love to see Ron Gardenhire opening favored presents on his birthday or whatever the occasion might be.
Oh my.
I'll bet it's exciting. Fastball hit in the air, left center field. To his left, Presley. He'll make the catch. 2 outs here in the third inning. That was Trevor Plouffe at the plate as Ron Gardenhire takes it in. Chris Parmelee now will stand in. Would you rather play for that highly excitable manager or the guy who kind of sits back and just takes it in?
I don't know. I've played for both. You know, won a World Series with a guy that was kind of cuckoo and aggressive and crazy, but it was a good time. Winning is the cure of all evil. You can be anything you want as long as you're winning.
Ozzie Guillen, was he a
lucky guess?
Was he a favorite of the players?
You know what? We had a good mix. We had a good group of guys, period. We were in the clubhouse together. We went out to dinner at night together. We had good times on the flights, going to various cities. But and we got along with Ozzie. As much as Ozzie gave to the guys grief-wise as far as media is concerned, he'd throw you under the bus in a heartbeat. But at the same time, he would turn around and praise you to no end if you had a great game. And one of the better stories that came out of that situation was Mark Burley's pitching on that team and had a great year, but had a rough outing, and Ozzie threw him under the bus. So Mark Burley,
that's the curveball get him. Yeah, we'll have to finish that story as we come back for the fourth inning. Nice 1-2-3 third inning, turned in by Paul Clemens. It's 3-0 Minnesota.
Go into the top of the 4th inning, and this moment in history is brought to you by M.D. Anderson, making cancer history. I believe it is Bob Aspromonte had himself a day on June 7th, 1967, when he tallied 5 hits in a 17-1 win over the Cardinals at Busch Stadium, the biggest winning margin in club history. Good to see he contributed that day.
I just saw Bob Aspromonte and his brother Ken, who, by the way, was my first major league manager, and both guys looking amazingly good. They were at the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Golf Tournament about, I don't know, a month and a half ago. Really looked good.
How was their game?
I did not get to see that. I mean, we were in separate groups, but I'm sure better than mine anyway.
4.
Jason Castro leads off here in the 4th inning. We had Jeff Blum opining about aspects of a certain manager of his with the White Sox back some years ago, 2005 particularly. By the way, this has been happening to Jason Castro over and over lately.
That's usually me after a good drive and a second shot into the water.
That's that swing in the house with the kids and the wife around that you hope you never have.
Yeah, that could get dangerous.
Man,
if you're swinging your bat in your house.
You never did?
No.
Oh.
Does the garage count?
Well, not exactly.
Okay. It's not livable space.
I'm assuming you don't have family members wandering around in the garage while you're swinging it.
No, I've got a lot of family members, and it wouldn't be a good idea for me to start swinging a bat inside the house.
Jason Castro struck out in the 1st inning, 0 for 1 on the afternoon. And pops it up near the mound as the 3rd baseman Trevor Plouffe will make the play in the first out here in the 4th inning. So go on.
I was talking about Ozzie Guillen, and you know he was a pretty energetic guy, and when things went bad, he would say it in the media. And playing in Chicago, the media was pretty extensive. But when you did well, he said good things. But Burley had a rough outing, and Ozzie proceeded to throw it all on him. So the next day before BP, Mark Burley had a white T-shirt, gave it to the clubhouse kid and his car keys. Said, "Hey kid, take this out into the parking lot and run over it about 3 or 4 times." So the clubhouse kid comes back, and there are just, black tire marks all over this T-shirt. And Burley proceeded to do a couple interviews and walk around the clubhouse, and people are like, "What's with the T-shirt?" Well, did you read the papers last night? Ozzie Guillen just drove the bus over me. I thought that was pretty clever.
Very nice.
It was good that there was a give and take.
But did Ozzie come in and partake of the good times?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And did he laugh?
Absolutely. Yeah. He had a good time with it.
So he could kind of see both sides, I guess.
Yeah.
That's very important for a manager. As Matt Dominguez grounds it foul. Dominguez grounded out to 3rd base in the 2nd inning. I was wondering if anybody on the team ever just came back and called Ozzie out after some of the things Ozzie would say.
Not that I was aware of.
Nothing blatant like that.
No.
So there was a respect. He's the manager and we're the players.
Yep.
2-2 the count on Matt. The Astros lead in the hits column, 3-1. Dexter Fowler has a couple of singles. John Singleton has the other one. And now a 3-2 count. Just one of those days for Scott Feldman, who looked sharp in the 1st inning. The 2nd inning started right out with the hit batter as he nailed Josh Willingham, and then it got ugly from there. Certainly the defense played a huge part in the demise of Feldman this afternoon. Out in front, Dominguez. So he's down on strikes. 5 strikeouts for Kyle Gibson. And 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Good slider.
Nice job on the 3-2.
Way out in front.
Must have tucked that one back in the hand a little bit, taking some speed off.
Yeah, just a couple miles an hour can really alter things for a hitter.
John Singleton 1 for 1. Oh, I had him going up to 200. It's 188. But 3 for 16 now. A home run, a couple of RBIs on the season for John. He was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts last night. That pushed that batting average to 133 at the time. 2-0. The Twins with all 3 of their runs coming in the second inning, all 3 unearned against Feldman. So the ERA is not paying any price for Scott today. But otherwise, you have to chalk it up to a day where it just didn't wind up to be a good outing. And you wonder, with Bo Porter deciding with 2 outs in the second inning to take Feldman out of the game, what Bo's thoughts really were. And I guess you would have to assume they weren't very strong about Feldman on the day in terms of positives. Big swing and a pop up on the infield on the right side. It's Dozier, the second baseman. He'll make the catch. That'll do it for Houston. A 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. We played 3.5 with the Twins leading it 3-0.
Paul Clemens here in an inning and a third of work. We're going to show you his one punch out pitch by pitch, brought to you by Steel Dealers. Good fastball fouled off by Parmalee, and then a great changeup to back that up to get to 0-2. Then that old equalizer, the hammer to put away Parmalee and end that inning for Paul Clemens, looking to continue a 1-2-3 inning.
That trio of pitches looked legit. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, bottom 3 in the order for the Twins. Kurt Suzuki, the catcher, leads it off and takes the heater for a strike.
90 miles an hour from Paul Clemens. Is he losing his velocity, or has this been a consistent theme?
Last year, I would say,
I remember him throwing pretty firm.
94 to 96 at times. Now, is this part of maybe trying to corral things and become a pitcher? There's 92 on the fastball that somehow gets on by Suzuki.
Get that good movement. He looks a little perplexed by it too.
Sometimes you have that little walk around where you ask yourself, how did I miss that?
Way to want a little bit up on the way in.
Suzuki 1 for 4 last night, had a double. And they counted 1-2. Suzuki, Escobar, and Hicks here in the 4th inning for Minnesota. Only the 9th game in which Suzuki has played against Houston through the years. That's a bit surprising.
Spending some time in Oakland in the American League while the Astros were in the National League. Washington Nationals. Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
He drew a walk and scored in that 3-run second inning. That ball wasn't that far inside. That's the changeup. That was certainly up. But as I viewed it, I didn't think that was that far inside. You tell me. Look at Castro.
No, that's Suzuki putting his head out over the plate.
That's diving, isn't it?
Yep.
So it's 3-2.
Still up by his head. It's not a comfortable feeling.
And it stays at 3-2.
Good hands by that lady right in front of us. Saved the nachos. Wasn't going to risk a foul ball catch.
You have to prioritize.
Yeah, you can't sacrifice that.
Ball first or nachos first? I know you're thinking.
Well, I know that the guy behind her just said that's nacho ball.
That fastball didn't hit Castro, who was set up on the outside edge, but it was close to the inside corner. It's called a ball. Suzuki draws his second walk of the afternoon. So he gets it started here in the 4th inning. Nobody out for Eduardo Escobar.
Ever dreadful leadoff walk.
And I guess it had some nacho cheese on it as well.
Yeah, that could be, you know, that could be a foreign substance that you don't want to have lingering on your fingertips.
There's got to be a pitcher somewhere who would be willing to put that on his neck, don't you think?
Well, if you know, it's a dual purpose. Help you get a grip on that pitch, and then if you get a little hungry.
Michael Pineda, for instance, might be inclined.
Well, I've seen a couple of nectar juice bars around. I was wondering if he was going to try and purchase that and call it nectar.
Nice. Changeup is tapped foul. It's 0-2. Nectar.
It's a new condiment. Have some nectar. Don't even have to put it on your plate. Just slap it on your neck.
Does it come in a squeeze bottle?
Hey.
Does now?
Does now. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna trademark it.
Oh, 2 from Clemens. Breaking ball stays high.
Good hammer.
There's the fastball change curveball combination.
Castro popped up a little bit in such good break. He came back down a little bit.
There's the change again as it's fouled down the left side. Yeah, when I see a catcher do that, start to raise up on the curveball or slider sometimes, I don't know if that kind of comes back to a lot of cross-ups, but it shouldn't happen.
You don't. I mean, you see a ball jump out of the pitcher's hand like that. You don't anticipate it maybe being one of those hangers that doesn't break.
Well, I mean,
I've never caught. Thankfully.
Yeah, I guess you just size up where it starts and who the guy is and what your experience is, but generally on that curveball that winds up, and I would have said that one was callable. High end of strike zone. It should look like a pitch that's going to end up where it eventually did. 2-2 with changeup, so that fills it. Well, Paul Clemens here in this 4th inning, able to get to 0-2. That hasn't been a problem. But then he gets to 3-2. He walked Suzuki. Escobar was a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. That was picked up by Feldman. Runner goes. The pitch is foul. Yeah, a lot of folks bundled up, and rightly so, here in Minneapolis today. And like you say, it's a week into June. Some sleeveless. Clemens fires to first. Kind of a mixed bag for the folks here this afternoon. We had rain as we came over to the ballpark. Very light. Suzuki leads and driven back to the bag once again. Double play depth, Gonzalez and Altuve. Again, Suzuki goes, and again, ball 4. So 2 walks to start the inning. Aaron Hicks will come to the plate, and I would imagine be called upon to lay down a bunt.
Yeah, you got to pile on a little bit. Hitting in that 9 hole, average under 200. The expectation, or he's right at 202 now. Expectation might be here with nobody out to move both those base runners. Matt Dominguez is prepared for it, playing in.
Hicks reached on an E6. That in the second inning. Not an easy play for Marwin Gonzalez behind the bag. I've taken notice that Aaron Hicks is listed as his birthplace from my hometown, San Pedro, California. But apparently that's just where the hospital was. He lived in Long Beach. Attended Wilson High School, and so many great players have come out of Wilson. Jeff Burrows, a former #1. Bobby Grich went there. And now timeout called. Thank goodness, because we were almost noticing movement in the game. And no bunt is on, and the swing as the corner infielders Dominguez and Singleton had drawn well in. Both infielders taking a step or so back. Aaron Hicks 2 for 2 in last night's game. Had a double and drove in a run. He also drew a walk. Raised that batting average from 190 to the 203 mark. There's the bunt. Out toward the mound. Clemens takes a peek at second, but gets the out at first. So the runners move up on the sacrifice bunt by Hicks. Runners at second and third for the leadoff man, Danny Santana.
Pretty good choice by Paul Clemens. It would have been a tough play getting over there. Suzuki for a catcher moves pretty good and got a good read on that bunt. Not a perfect bunt by any means, but still effective.
Matt Dominguez goes to the mound. Didn't look like Paul Clemens was all that engaged in that conversation. Santana has flied out and singled, driving in a pair of runs in the second inning. And now 7 ribbies on the year. Santana the DH here this afternoon, as he was last night. Infield draws in. And the breaking ball to start it. It's 0-1.
Santana, the owner of that only hit for the Minnesota Twins.
That came in the second inning.
Plenty of base runners for the Minnesota Twins. Only one of them via the hit.
There was a shot through the right side. Clean base hit for Santana. I imagine you'd have to dig pretty hard to find a pitcher start a game, not have an injury, leave after an inning and 2/3, and not allow an earned run.
Giving up 1 hit.
1 hit, yeah. But that was the case for Scott Feldman this afternoon.
What is going on here with the pace?
Wow.
It has fallen off.
Santana steps out. Clemens steps off. Castro goes out. I'm not sure there has been a pace.
Yeah, it's true. You got to have one to call it one.
We're just in the 4th inning. We have played over an hour and a half now. Oh, and 1 the count on Santana. And a pitch out, and not a very good one by Paul Clemens. Castro was committed to the pitch out. It didn't appear that Clemens was.
Seems to be a lot of concern with Paul Clemens on the mound. You saw Matt Dominguez come out. Jason Castro's gone out to talk to him. We just saw from behind that Marlon Gonzalez is back there clapping his hands trying to cheer on Paul Clemens. We know he's a little bit of a wild card out there mentally.
That pitch out could have been bunted, I would assume, by Santana.
Seeing a little the bird, Fittrich.
Frustration goes well beyond the broadcast booth. Bo Porter trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Again, Castro not committed to going down, but he does keep it in front. 2 balls and a strike. Runners at second and third. First base is open. You know what my hunch is? Castro put down a pitch out as a sign, and Clemens stepped off and then acted like he possibly didn't know what the sign was, and that set up the meetings that followed. Pop fly, foul territory, left side. Long run Dominguez, and it hits off the glove and drops. Not an easy play at all. A very tough play, but one that Matt Dominguez has made. And just all of a sudden, the guy who plays a great third base is having a bit of a struggle.
Watch the runner on third, Suzuki going back to tag. That would have been a tough play for Matt Dominguez, let alone to make the play. Catching it just on the heel. That over-the-shoulder catch is not an easy one, but I'm sure he was also anticipating catching that ball and possibly having to turn and fire to home plate with Suzuki tagging.
No play. But that possibility to get a second out and leave runners at second and third gets away, and now line drive to the gap in left center field, and it'll drop. 2 runs will score to make it 5-0 Minnesota. 2-run double for Santana, and he has 4 RBIs on the afternoon.
Pretty good pitch to hit with 2 strikes. Santana now with the only 2 hits on the afternoon. He's got 4 RBIs. Ball elevated out over the plate. Santana just has to get on top and drive it.
Runs 4 and 5 coming in. So Santana at second base. 1 out as Brian Dozier comes to the plate, and then you see what not making a play that again was a very tough play and no error charged, but a possibility of an out. It gets away and runs score. Danny Santana came into play today with 5 RBIs, now has 9. Two balls and no strikes. Brian Dozier at the plate has flied out and walked. That walk brought home a run in the 3-run second. There's been nothing about this game for the Astros that they would want to save on film and show to the organization as to how to play the game. Brent Strom appears to be frustrated.
Don't see that too often. The pitcher coach screaming to the pitcher from the dugout.
And 3-1. You know, there have been moments, and again, this is only the 3rd outing for Paul Clemens since rejoining the club. That first outing was really good. Part of the second one was good. And he leaves you the impression that, you know what, maybe he's ready right now to help this team. And then there come some of these other moments. And the walk, that's the 3rd walk of the inning, puts runners at first and second with 1 out for the 3-hitter Joe Mauer. And it's going to bring out Brent Strom, and I don't think this is going to sound like a real encouraging meeting here. Well, maybe it is. That body posture goes against maybe what I might have guessed.
Oh, he's in his ditch right now. Keep an eye on that runner at second base is what he's reminding him.
There are some pitchers who you won't put anything past. They know where the base runners are. They know who they are. They know what the chances are they might run, and they know about the hitter. And then there are other guys who get so focused on one item that they lose sight of a whole bundle of others.
Yeah, there's so many different attitudes on these pitching staffs that you got to deal with.
There's a strike called. Big lead down at first base by Brian Dozier. John Singleton kind of just laid back behind.
Well, in his defense, I don't think there was a play on it. I think the reason Dozier jumped off is because Santana, the runner at second base, bluffed towards third base as if he was going to steal, and Dozier was going to trail that play. And then he recognized Santana had stopped, and he was immediately backtracking to first base. And with the left-handed hitter Mauer up, you're going to play a little bit deeper in case he does hook one down there towards you. But those back picks are usually put on. There's an acknowledgement between the first baseman and catcher.
Just wondered if there might not be some movement once you see that runner at your bag take that big lead. Ball and a strike. Pitch is hit in the air, shallow in center field. Marwin goes out, and now it drops between Fowler and Marwin. Throw to third, and they'll get the force out. So the Astros catch a break here. Dexter Fowler able to make the play. 8-5 on the putout of the lead runner, Danny Santana. It will not be a hit from Mauer, just a fielder's choice.
That should have been an out either way. There's no way.
You're right.
One of these two has to go back there and make that play. Fowler playing deep with Mauer. Expect a little more aggressive play, but when you've been sitting on your heels as a defender behind a pitcher who's having a tough time controlling the pace of play and throwing strikes in the strike zone that are able to be swung at, you get on your heels a little bit, so when the action does come your way, you might lose a step just because you're not anticipating it.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I agreed that I thought that ball should have been handled by somebody. And that's likely the reason it has been tough to watch here, not only in the fourth, but throughout much of this ball game this afternoon. Just the fourth inning. 5-0 Twins. Joe Mauer has had a couple of at-bats. Last two at-bats, he has had 5 base runners aboard.
You know, forgive me for having high expectations too. The way the Astros have been playing baseball, those are plays I expect to be made because we've been seeing it so frequently of late.
Yep.
10-3 in their last 13 games.
A ball and a strike as they get the appeal. And that bat, for me, goes through the front of the plate.
Ted Barrett felt the same way.
The Astros are 7-3 in their last 10. In the last 20, 13-7, and over the last 30, 17-13. So it hasn't been a week-long stretch where they've played well. It's been a month. And you can take it all the way through, you know, the entire month of May, where they had their first winning month in quite some time. And now 1-2 the count. The Twins are just watching pitch after pitch. Josh Willingham hitting .500 with runners in scoring position. Takes the breaking ball. The Astros are 14-18 at home. On the road, they're 13-17. You know, one thing that surprises me, the Astros have played just 2 interleague games. They've gone 0-2 in those 2, those against the Washington Nationals, but a lot of interleague action coming up for Houston. 2-2 pitch drilled into left field. That's a base hit. Here comes Dozier to the plate. The throw is cut off, and a 6-0 Minnesota lead. RBI single, Josh Willingham. And it just goes on and on for the Twins and their fans. Joe Mauer stopped at second. Tough inning for Paul Clemens.
Some issues with 2 strikes, leaving balls elevated up out over the zone.
Still 2 outs. Trevor Plouffe will come to the plate. He's reached on an error and scored in the second. One of those 3 unearned runs, and then flied out. So 0 for 2 on the day. 8th hitter of the inning for the Twins. They sent 9 to the plate in the second. We praised the pitching and the defense.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. But it doesn't apply here through 4 innings this afternoon. Ball and a strike on Plouffe.
This is eerily reminiscent of April baseball for the Houston Astros, and it was not kind to them. But a lot of self-inflicted wounds. But one thing they were missing is that firepower that would allow them to come back in some of these games, and I think that this lineup, compared to the lineups that were in April, has actual opportunity possibly to come back in this game. We've seen Kyle Gibson doing a great job of handling this Astros lineup.
Gibson, who came in with an ERA of 4.35, has been good this afternoon. Last year in the 6 meetings between these 2 teams, the Twins won 5 of them. And the Twins are 16-11 lifetime against Houston. Two and 2 the count. Oh, we're just not seeing many first or second pitch outs on this game.
And a real inability to put guys away with 2 strikes.
Curveball stays high. That'll fill it once again.
3 strikeouts on the afternoon for Astros pitchers.
Runners go on the 3-2. It's another walk. That's the 4th here in this 4th inning for Paul Clemens.
Fans, follow every Astros game with MLB.com @bat on your favorite device. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download it through your device's app store or visit Astros.com today.
And that walk loads him up for Chris Parmelee. So for the 2nd time this afternoon, the Twins bat around. Parmelee has flied out and struck out. 0 for 2 on the day. And falls behind.
Jerome Williams getting loose for the Houston Astros now. 56 pitches for Paul Clemens.
Jerome Williams went a while where he didn't pitch at all. Lately, he's been getting tuned up quite a bit. A ball and a strike on Parmelee. Parmelee did not play in last night's game. His last hit, and he's not a regular for the Twins, but his last hit came back on May 23rd. Now has a 2-1 count. So a hitter's count, bases loaded, 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Already 6-0 Minnesota, and a chance to turn this into the party time.
It's looking like Paul Clemens is almost wishing the ball in there. Just the delivery's altered a little bit. That release point isn't where he wants it. You can see some of these pitches missing badly.
And now 3-1. Just 88 miles an hour on a fastball that last year, back in the spring, you recall we saw Clemens come in and strike out the side in a ball game, bringing it mid-90s. Great hitters count for Parmalee. Big swing as it's fouled off on the right side. So a full count. Runners will be in motion.
They've done him a little bit of a favor. That one elevated in the zone. Marquez hasn't been calling that. But nonetheless, it's okay to be greedy when you're up by 6 and 3-1 count and the base is juiced.
Now you wonder about any of the pitching that's still at AAA or elsewhere for that matter. There's Mike Foltynewicz, one of the names that comes up. But then again, his desire is to start. Runners go and the pitch is a ball. 5 walks in the inning. Twins put a 4th run on the board here in this 4th inning. They lead 7-0. Base is still loaded. Jerome Williams is heating it up.
Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walks this inning.
Is it 5 this inning? That's, yeah, 5 walks in the inning.
You got to double check it. That's something you don't see too often in a box score.
It's the second man for the Twins that's walked with the bases loaded. Doing some walking is Bo Porter. He's coming out to the mound. This is going to do it for Paul Clemens. And you wonder what can be going through the mind of Paul Clemens. You keep getting those chances to come to the club, and then it goes like this. Cannot be good. So Paul's done.
What do you think? Yep.
Well, Brent Strom, I believe, had already been out here in the inning, had he not?
Yeah.
So they should have called to the bullpen as soon as Bo Porter came out. So 7-0 Minnesota here in the 4th inning as Jerome Williams has been summoned.
Into the back half of this bottom of the 4th inning here with 2 outs, and every Thursday home game at Minute Maid Park this season is Dollar Dog Thursday. The next Dollar Dog Thursday is June 12th against the Diamondbacks. For tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Speaking of food, there's somebody that we work with that really enjoys her food. She was having a tough time last year with that pork chop on a stick.
Is that a hose she's got that thing attached to?
My goodness.
Pork chop and a stick. Yes. Sold here to get feel.
You look like you're really enjoying your job right there, Julia.
The stick wasn't strong enough for that. I'm just going to stop talking.
Yeah.
Well, there was also, see my plate of food? I had pork chop, fried the donuts.
How do you qualify that as a plate? That was more of a platter.
How were those fried donuts?
Oh, the best.
Were they?
Bag o' donuts.
Now, you tried last night's. How'd they compare with last night's?
I think, were they the same?
I don't know. Were they?
I believe so. It's been,
okay.
a long year.
So if they were like last night's, then I assume they were great.
Delicious, yes.
10th hitter of the inning, Kurt Suzuki stands in. 4 runs on the board here in the 4th inning for Minnesota. Jerome Williams picks it up and brings a strike. 5 walks, 2 hits in the inning for Minnesota. There's been a sacrifice bunt. Yeah, really tough to watch things work out that way for Paul Clemens. 0-2 the count. Kurt Suzuki was the guy who started this 4th inning. He fell behind 0-2 and then drew a walk. Eventually coming around to score the 4th Minnesota run and the first of the 4 here in the inning. Down on strikes is Suzuki. Stepping on the plate to record the out is Jason Castro, and that'll do it. The Twins send 10 to the plate. 4 scored, 7-0 Minnesota.
Astros, Dynamo, Rockets, and more. We have all your sports news covered. Check out Sportsnet Central every night at 6:10 and midnight on Comcast Sportsnet. Alex Presley comes up here for the Astros. We chatted about him earlier and him being a former Twin and looking forward to seeing some of his old teammates today. Not really. He said it wasn't a revenge series for him so much, but he was looking forward to just getting a chance to play against a team that gave him a chance last year, and then in spring training was told he'd probably be the starting center fielder, and then as spring went on, a below average spring for him. He said that he was told he'd make the team but wouldn't start. Aaron Hicks would be the starting center fielder. And then out of the blue, guys, his agent called him, told him he'd been picked up by the Houston Astros off waivers. Had no idea it was coming. He said he was shocked. Just a couple days later, found himself in San Antonio for some of the exhibition games with the Houston Astros, but definitely happy for the opportunity that he has in Houston, and glad he can contribute. Bo Porter putting him in the lineup here to get him ready for the Interleague series.
Good stuff, Julia. Thanks. We're going to be checking in with you. We need to find out what's going on in the ballpark because the game has been a little bit slow. 2 hours to play 4 innings here. 7-0 Twins on just 3 hits. Paul Clemens walking 5 in the 4th inning. Kyle Gibson. I guess there's no chance he could be tiring at this point in the pitching sense. One and 2 the count on Presley. Alex hitting .241. And now the count even. So, Julia, I'm just going to say we need to find out what kind of cool and interesting is going on in the ballpark. So, when you come up with something, let us know.
I got something.
Do you? Bring it.
Robert Ford, our radio play-by-play guy.
Birthday day, huh?
Birthday boy. There's some good birthdays on a day like today for Robert.
I think Robert said he's 35, so a happy birthday to Robert.
Only 35.
Oh, that was not the right thing to say. See, that's not the way the guy, he doesn't look a day over what?
42.
That's coming on kind of strong. Well, a happy birthday nonetheless.
Hope Sparky's treating him well.
No chance of that.
Yeah, Robert having to work here on his birthday.
I don't think Robert would have it any other way.
That's a really good point. He does enjoy his job.
Big birthdays other than Robert Ford's today is a nice play on the mound by Gibson. He'll get the first out as he gets Presley. One up, one down. And now some of the other rather famous folks with birthdays on Robert Ford's day. Tom Jones. Liam Neeson. Prince. Does he have a name? Is that his name?
He's back to a name, yes.
Yeah. Allen Iverson.
And he's from Minnesota.
No need for practice today because it's Allen Iverson's birthday. And Anna Kournikova.
Strong list.
Yeah, that is a good list. Anna Kournikova was a part of the Biggest Loser there a couple of years ago. And just 1 year, and then it was out the door. Don't know what that was all about.
Nor do I.
Sure, I'm sure you're a big fan of the Biggest Loser. This is where Prince used to hang out here. He's from the Minnesota area. And then this is what we had to run into yesterday and today in the Twins dining room here for the media.
Well, on top you've got the servers of the year, and down on the bottom you've got the spread killers of the year.
3 balls and no strikes on Guzman. Yeah.
Like Lowell's suffering from a little bit of indigestion in the photo. It's a little unsure.
3-1 the count. Surprising to see those guys would even go down and have a meal before the game.
My goodness.
I would have thought they'd be up checking the stats and making sure everything was right.
They're tremendous multitaskers.
A 1-out walk to Guzman. That's the first walk issued by Gibson.
At the press menu, that's down in the press dining area. That's the ultimate photo bomb right there.
Sparky bombing
is so happy. Somebody say food? Yeah, it was a pretty good day today. Barbecue pork, popcorn, shrimp.
They do a great job here at Target Field.
They really do. But I have no idea why they would choose radio guys for a picture.
It makes no sense.
There's a reason they're not on air.
It's just nonsensical. Ground ball, diving stop by Dozier. He'll get an out at second base. What a play by the Twins' second sacker. Marwin Gonzalez flat robbed on this play.
It just compounds what the Astros are going through today. Can't get a break. Marwin looking to get something going, sneak that one up the middle, but Dozier's got different plans. Not an ideal shovel, but enough to get that lead runner. Always love it when shortstops pop up looking at first like, oh, I had a chance, but I just couldn't do it. Knowing the guy's safe by a mile.
I think Marwin was already coming back to the bag at that point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Fly ball down the left side, foul for Fowler, who's 2 for 2 on the afternoon. Full extension for Dozier. He's barely controlling the ball and now tries to flip it. He could have died about halfway there.
Almost did.
I'd like to put the radar gun on that flip.
That was pretty good.
Two balls and a strike. With the 2 hits today, Dexter Fowler hitting .274. His numbers have really come along. Boy, the scoreboard is slow here with balls and strikes. 3-1 the count.
Is Paul Clemens running it? Ooh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say things like that out loud. Where's that cough button again?
You had your finger on it, I thought.
I usually do. Slow on the trigger.
But strong on the accuracy. That's Jeff Blum.
Truth hurts.
Sometimes.
It's a rough day. It's a rough day for everybody.
It's a 3-2 count. 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Marwin Gonzalez not being held on at first base with his 7-0 lead. He's on the move. And another walk. Second one in the inning. Second on the afternoon now for Gibson.
Dexter Fowler's been on all 3 times. 2 walks, base hit in the 3rd inning.
He is the on-base machine.
He does a pretty good job at it. Up around 390 on the season.
Meeting at the mound. Kurt Suzuki, the catcher, goes out and briefly chats. It'll bring up Jose Altuve. Runners at first and second. And the Astros could stand to put a deuce or more on the board. Sometimes Jeff Blum is just completely out of control, and this would be one of those times.
Oh, man, here comes that bus again. Thump. I was just going to,
Here's a one-hopper, and that's gloved by Dozier. He looks to second and eventually throws to first to get the out on Altuve. That'll do it for the Astros in the 5th inning. They leave a couple on the walks, and a happy birthday to Robert Ford. Comcast Sportsnet's presentation of Houston Astros baseball is brought to you by AT&T U-Burst TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. Seven 0 the Twins lead it this afternoon. You can see the cloudy skies. We had some rain before the game. Tarp was on the field right up till first pitch.
There are more runs by the Twins than there are total amount of hits between both ball clubs.
7 runs from Minnesota. The Astros have 3 hits. The Twins have 3.
Huh?
Yeah.
But that last inning for Paul Clemens, where there were 5 walks, I'm not sure I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it's been a rough day to watch.
Unless you're watching us.
Well, and that always improves things, but
7 walks total.
Self-induced praise is a great thing. Ground ball up the middle. Marwin to his left makes the play and does it beautifully as he gets the out. Leadoff man Eduardo Escobar here in the 5th inning.
Pretty nice play by Marwin.
Looked like Marwin almost had this ball drop out of the glove.
Ball was hit well. Singleton doing a good job of moving those feet around, staying on the bag. That ball was not comfortably into the glove of Marwin Gonzalez, but out nonetheless.
With 1 out, it brings up the 9-hitter Aaron Hicks. He's reached on an error that charged to Marwin in the 2nd inning. One of the 2 errors in that inning, the other committed by Matt Dominguez. And then Hicks laid down a sac bunt in the 4th inning. Coincidentally, the 2 innings where the Twins have put the runs on the board, 3 in the 2nd, 4 in the 4th.
Oh, that's the suit and tie we should be wearing for broadcasts.
And the coat. Fly ball right field. Springer makes the catch. 2 down here in the 5th inning.
Here's the Astros' upcoming schedule presented by Progressive. There's quite a few ball games thrown onto that TV screen. We've got one more here Sunday afternoon in Minnesota before jumping on the plane and heading down to the Southwest in that desert. Play under the roof against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Play a 2-game series before heading back to Houston to finish off that 4-game series with 2 more in Houston against the Diamondbacks. A weekend series with Tampa Bay before a day off on Monday. Then back out on the road for 2 in Washington, and then head down to South Florida and play against the Tampa Bay Rays.
I'll see you with your coat and tie on Monday night in Arizona.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
perfect weather for it. You know, we need to get a dry fit suit contract.
I don't think I would qualify.
You know, like have Nike do one of those nice thin materials for us. It's only projected to be about 109.
Yeah,
it's a dry heat too. It's not a humid.
That's the nice thing.
It's not humid.
I was kind of questioning the other day, how do saunas do in Arizona when everybody's praising the dry heat? Line drive back up the middle. That's a base hit. Comes with 2 outs. Danny Santana is having himself a series. 3 hits again this afternoon. 6 hits in the series for Santana.
Astros have gotten Santana locked in.
So think about it, Plummer, when everybody says it's 115 degrees in Phoenix, and then they qualify it with, but it's a dry heat, as if to say, okay, but it's all fine because it feels like 70 degrees because it's dry. Well, if you live there, would you bother going to a sauna if you're, as the pickoff throw just about gets Santana? So what would be the point of a sauna where you moisten the air and you go in there for health benefits or whatever?
Didn't they have issues with somebody up in Sedona keeping people in a hot hut or something like that?
That was not a good story.
Man. Yeah. No, I had lived out there for 2 years when I played with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I loved it. But yeah, I'm not going to say that the sauna was my first choice. For treatment plans, I would just go out and go to the putting green for about 15 minutes, and that was plenty of sauna that I needed.
Did you play a lot of golf those summers?
No. You played a little bit in spring training, but once the season started, the only way you could survive a round is if you teed off about 5:30 in the morning when it was 90. I was too busy trying to go scorpion catching in the middle of the night.
Tell me you never saw one in your place.
Oh, we saw a couple. Made my wife take care of them.
You'd have to keep the kids on stilts all the time, huh?
Well, you know what the funny thing, well, it's not funny. I mean, scorpions aren't funny. They could, have issues, but we would get or I would get, my wife didn't appreciate this, I would get glass cups and trap them underneath the cup. That was always fun.
Down on strikes, Brian Dozier. That'll do it for the Twins in the 5th inning. They fail to score. They get a hit and leave a man. It's 7-0 Minnesota.
It's 7-0 to the Twins. And Comcast Business is taking us inside the game as we get a closer look at George Springer, who had a nice month of May, but continued with his power. Last night we saw the home run. That's his first home run. That was on May 8th against the Detroit Tigers. Here's his 11th, the one he hit last night, and that pitch way outside. How did he get this ball out of there? I even asked him about it today, and he said, the pitch was a little further out than I thought it was after I watched it. Guys, what did you see on that?
Really intriguing, Julia. It makes me wonder, might George Springer be well served to move off the plate an inch or so and maybe extend the arms a little bit more? I don't know. Down in the count 0-2 on a good slider.
He's not picking up that slider off of Gibson.
Well, what do you think? I mean, if you move off the plate, it tends to make a hitter focus more back up the middle and toward the opposite gap.
I'm going to leave him the way he is. If he wants to make the adjustment after being in the league for a little, at the end of the year, wants to make that adjustment, go for it.
Hits it on the ground to second. Dozier with the play. And one out here in the 6th inning.
But I think a lot of times it has to do with the balance, not necessarily the arms or where a guy is strength-wise. When a guy's missing those pitches off the outside corner, has the tendency to be spinning off the ball a little bit. Maybe hips are getting out of there a little too quick. But when a guy is locked in, it really doesn't matter where he's at in the box. But he's a little young in his career for me to start trying to move him around that box and try and create some situations for him.
Jason Castro at the plate, fouls it off. Castro has struck out and popped out. Sometimes for me, if I moved off the plate a half an inch or as much as an inch, it might help me stay on pitches when I felt I was pulling off.
I personally had issues with the changeup. That was the one pitch that started to get me early on in my career, and I was always in the back of the box, and I crowded the plate because I was good at turning on pitches, so I wanted to turn that outside corner into the middle part of the plate. But then the changeup came around, and I was having trouble staying on that, so I scooted toward the pitcher to try and cut that changeup off.
1-2 the count on Castro. Thing about is the closer you get to the plate as a hitter, the more it makes you think quick, and you start potentially leaving yourself pulling off of pitches if they're off speed. And so I get what you're talking about, your adjustment. You shorten the distance toward the pitcher. Ground ball right side. Dozier dives and makes the play to his feet and gets him. Brian Dozier has made a couple of gems for the Twins.
definitely not making friends with Houston Astro hitters. Taking away a hit from Marwin Gonzalez. Now Jason Castro. What I like about Dozier is as he's going towards this ball, the glove is already out there ready to go down. So the first thing to go after the baseball is the glove.
Two outs on ground balls to second. Matt Dominguez stands in and takes a strike. I guess when you're playing well, it doesn't hurt to have a stinker every once in a while. Just get it out of your system and come back and play well. So Brian Dozier is going to tie a record as he gets 3 assists here in the 6th inning. A 1-2-3 frame. 7-0 Twins.
Astros 0, Twins 7, and Colin McHugh gets the call as Springleton fever continues to sweep across Minneapolis. Pre-game live starts at 12:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet.
A lot of folks hanging out in downtown Minneapolis over the past couple of days. And quite a few come out to the ballpark. They've had great attendance since building this new facility. Target Field, a great place. Joe Mauer leads it off. Lines one down the left side and slices it just a bit too much. Mauer 0 for 3 on the day. He has scored a run. Following tomorrow's finale here in Minnesota as Colin McHugh goes to the mound. Plummer mentioned that. It'll be Jared Cozart to open things in Arizona with the D-backs. He'll be opposed by Josh Colmenter, and then it's Brad Peacock in the Tuesday game. That's a day game and a 2:40 start, opposed by Bronson Arroyo. Pitch fouled on the left side. On his career, and we mentioned some of the great numbers career-wise, a .320 lifetime hitter, Joe Mauer. On his career, he's a .312 hitter in the month of June. So I guess that means ultimately that he has slumped a bit in June. The Astros come into play today having won 6 consecutive road games, tying the second longest road winning streak in the majors this year. The Tigers won 11 in a row at home back in April and May. The Tigers have hit tough times recently. Imagine there for a while Brad Ausmus thought, hey, this managing thing, this is easy.
Feet up on the desk. Go get them, boys.
Got some pretty good boys to run out there too. But I don't care how good you are, you're going to run into some tough times. 2-2 pitch, grounded slowly right side. Singleton's there, and he'll feed to Williams. Wonder if Singleton may be laying back a little too often, leaving the pitcher coming to the bag. Did stay back on this ground ball.
Roll over on that off speed. Good play. Does a good job of getting around it.
With one out.
Did kind of sit back there a little bit.
I like to see, even if eventually you wind up tossing to the pitcher, I like the first baseman to react as if it was his play alone to begin with. And then you have options in the event that a pitcher doesn't cover or falls down or whatever can go wrong, that sometimes does go wrong. Josh Willingham at the plate. He's been hit by a pitch, grounded out and single, driving in a run with that base hit in the 4th inning.
I think at times you know how the hitter runs.
Yep.
And you sit back a little bit, take your time, realizing you got a little bit extra.
Half swing by Willingham, holds it back. 1-1 the count. The All-Star game in Major League Baseball is going to be played here at Target Field next month. First time in 29 years that Minnesota has hosted that event. 2-1. Fastball coming close to Willingham, and he was drilled back in the 2nd inning. The 1985 All-Star game was played at the Metrodome here. Jose Cruz played in that one, as did Nolan Ryan. Ground ball left side. Matt Dominguez will get out number 2. A couple of ground ball outs here in the 6th inning, bringing up third baseman Trevor Plouffe.
Be a fun place to watch the home run derby during that All-Star weekend too. Big ballpark with the way they've got 3 levels, I guess, out in the outfield, in left field, 2 in right.
You think there would be any inclination on the part of the guys that get asked to be a part of the home run derby to say, no, I don't want to do it this year, when they know it's a big ballpark that's involved?
There's a lot of pressure.
Where you're thinking by the end of the contest you might have 3 home runs. The winner this year has 4 home runs.
I think there's plenty of pop in the major leagues to make this place look small, especially during a BP round.
I think sometimes they use they're the diamond balls is what I used to see that were used, but the livelier baseballs sometimes used in the home run derbies. Ground ball off the glove of Williams, barehanding Altuve to make the play. 3 ground ball outs, a 1-2-3 6th inning for Jerome Williams. We go to the 7th, still 7-0 Twins.
Wins. This season at Minute Maid Park, every Friday night home game is followed by spectacular fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. Next Friday night fireworks is Friday, June 13th. Ooh, Friday the 13th against the Rays. Get tickets at 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Guys.
Hey, Julia.
Yes.
I heard Johnny Football's going to change his name after today.
Are we going with Johnny Baseball?
Johnny Baseball got drafted by the San Diego Padres.
Twitter's
How do you feel?
a mess right now.
You're loving this, aren't you?
News. I was trying to check on the Texas-Houston game, and all I see is Johnny Manziel tweets.
Oh, I thought you were leading the charge.
No.
She's a big fan.
I couldn't pass up the opportunity to bring that up. Thanks, Julia.
John Singleton at the plate. Singleton 1 for 2 on the day, had a second inning single, one of the 3 Houston hits today. Why is Julia so uptight when it comes to Johnny Manziel?
I think she's upset that he's not a Dallas Cowboy.
Good swing by Singleton.
We definitely watched the draft together. And, I was
you in football?
No, well, no.
Oh, dude.
No, where were you, Ash, that night?
For the football draft?
Yeah, the football draft.
I can't remember what
that was
city
Baltimore. I think that was Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah. Oh, Ash was getting ready for karaoke night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ground ball off the glove of Gibson on to shortstop. Escobar makes the play. 1-6-3 for out number 1 here in the 7th inning. What, did you gather with the guys and cheer on the draft picks?
Did we cheer on the draft picks?
I don't know if you could. Yeah.
I was curious to see who the Dallas Cowboys would take, and Manziel is still on the board.
And you were rooting Johnny?
No. Okay, if you can't tell, I'm not rooting for Johnny. Not happening.
Oh, that is so great. Yeah, as soon as that pick came around, Julia, she stopped eating, stopped drinking, both hands on the table, and just didn't blink until that pick had passed. And then she let out a huge sigh of relief. Good times.
I wonder how she's going to feel when the Browns get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, Johnny. But yes, he was drafted by the San Diego Padres just a few minutes ago as a shortstop. Oh. I don't like the Padres' chances.
Did he play any football at A&M, or baseball rather, at A&M?
I don't believe so.
Played a little bit of football.
Little football, yeah.
He wasn't there very long.
Picked up an award somewhere along the way, as I recall.
Yeah.
He was the 837th pick of this year's draft.
Did he get a hug from the commish?
I don't know if Bud Selig is a hugger. But no 837th pick has ever played in the big leagues.
And what kind of signing bonus is that compared to what he would get as a
now, I think he's probably going to get a room at the Venetian.
That's not Mr. Irrelevant, is it?
I don't know if that's the Mr. Irrelevant pick. No, I'm not sure.
3-1 is tapped foul by Alex Presley.
I think it's fair to say he's not irrelevant.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Now, I wonder if he's considering the possibilities right now.
I'm going to stop talking about Johnny football. I could get into some trouble.
You know what? This is going to force the Browns to really ante up, or have they already inked a deal? Three and two the count on Presley.
Julia, do you have a score in that Texas-Houston matchup in the college super regional?
Last I checked, it was 4-0 Texas, and they were heading into the 8th.
And you're happy?
Yes, I'm happy. I'm happier than Brian McTaggart is right now.
Having a rough go of it.
We have a friendly wager on this.
Ooh.
That would mean the Longhorns are 3 outs away from Omaha. Something they won last night.
How are the Cougs doing?
How are the Cougs?
Houston Cougars.
That's who they're playing.
Okay,
yeah, they're playing against the
Houston.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
3 outs away.
That is correct.
Wow. That was not expected from the Longhorns this season in baseball.
No, it wasn't. Augie Garrido getting a lot of heat. He has been the past couple of years, but especially this season. So, kind of a shocker.
Ball and a strike. Jesus Guzman, the DH today in the 8th spot. He is struck out and walked. 3 walks on the afternoon issued by Kyle Gibson. And now 1-2 the count. Kyle Gibson was born October 23rd of '87. The reason we mention it, it was an off day between games 5 and 6 of the World Series that year. The Twins won against the Cardinals. Twins winning the final 2 games of that exciting series. Those years back in the Metrodome when the Twins put together some clubs that put it together, and you see the pennant flags here in Minneapolis. Those were some very exciting World Series.
I can't imagine how loud that dome would get during some of those baseball games.
2-2 is grounded foul. Yeah, most folks seem not to like the dome. Going in there myself, never as a player, I kind of liked it because it was noisy and it felt like the crowd was engaged.
I liked hitting there for whatever reason.
Left-handed, I would imagine you really did.
I actually had more success hitting right-handed, really? And half the time it was against guys like Johan Santana. I scuffled against Radke. He had a filthy changeup, and he would throw that invisible fastball about chest high at 88 miles an hour, and I could not figure that thing out.
Slowly hit ground ball to short, the only option at first base. They'll get the out. Out number 2, moving into second is Presley as Marwin Gonzalez comes to the plate.
That trash bag in the old Metrodome was very tempting.
I guess, and I would have guessed that you'd have had some big days left-handed in there. Although I'm not sure. Was it about equal left and right field?
No, it was. I think right field was a little bit closer. Good look at Ken Urbeck. Pictured around the ballpark. Those were some good years. He was a leader on some of those teams. But it was a little bit closer in right field, maybe a 15, 20 foot high. Can't really qualify as a wall. Just a humongous trash bag.
They used to call it the baggie,
plastic,
right?
Yeah. Ball would hit up against it and it just comes straight down.
Little squibber left to the mound, making the play is Gibson, and he'll get himself out of the 7th inning and maintain this 7-0 Minnesota lead.
Here in the bottom of the 7th, and it's time for the Astros minor league report, brought to you by your local Honda dealers. And it is third baseman Rio Ruiz, 4th round pick of 2012, and he's playing for that great ball club down there in Lancaster. The Jethawks having a decent season in 59 games. Ruiz has put up a .303 average, 5 bombs, 35 RBIs. Done a lot of that damage in the last 10 games. Over 1,000 on the OPS. And ranked 10th in the Astros minor league system.
It's good to see a guy coming on strong right now.
Yeah, that Lancaster team has got some studs
That seems to be the team that's loaded with, I guess, what most people would think would be the largest amount of the big prospects they have in the organization now. Into the bottom of the 7th inning, pitch popped on the left side. Matt Dominguez will make the play. One pitch, one out here in the 7th. Haven't seen a lot of that. Going to bring up the catcher, Kurt Suzuki.
Yeah, this ball game has not been the model of efficiency.
Suzuki on the afternoon has walked twice, scoring in both cases, and struck out. He's enjoyed day games over the course of this season, hitting .350, at nighttime just .244. Maybe he likes it when the sun is shining.
Not much shining here. Kind of a dreary afternoon.
There have been some shiny moments for the Twins, no doubt, and they played really good defense. The Astros have had their struggles in that regard, and certainly on the mound as well. Offense has been unable to get anything done against Kyle Gibson. You know, when you play the Twins, for me, I think of Rod Carew and Tony Oliva. I'm not sure why I think back to those guys as opposed to maybe a little bit more recently Kirby Puckett and Kent Herbeck, you mentioned a while ago. Some of the guys of that generation, but
geez, that guy on the right could hit too, huh? Killebrew. Woo.
We call him the killer. Bert Blyleven, obviously a big part of this organization. He's cut down the broadcasting chores this year, down to, what did we hear, 100 games, maybe less?
Yep.
Ground ball left side. Impossible play from Marwin. He'll try to make it. That throw not in time. Kurt Suzuki has his first hit of the afternoon. Comes with one out here in the 7th inning. Brings up 8-hitter Eduardo Escobar. Yeah, this is one of those ground balls. If the third baseman can't get to it, just go ahead and take a bite. You could see Dominguez kind of stop. I don't know that he had any shot at all, but
you kind of run into that situation as a third baseman. You're risking reaching out there and tipping it, and ends up in the shallow part of the outfield, and maybe runner takes advantage of it.
I guess you just have to take your read, your own personal read, immediately.
A lot of times it has to do with the first step, and maybe in that situation, for whatever reason, just didn't get that good first step to go after it, shut it down.
5 hits now for the Twins. Got a beach ball on the field here in Minneapolis.
Oh, it's 56, man. It's an Indian summer out here for these guys.
The Minnesota Twins of Anaheim leading 7-0.
I like how Robbie gave it back. Usually guys will go over there and spike it or throw it into a bullpen, but give it back to the fans.
You drop something. Two balls, no strikes. Escobar 0 for 2. He's drawn a walk and scored a run. Two-0 pitch. Boy, Escobar just backing away prior to each pitch.
Auto take.
Looks like this has become a part of what the Twins have turned themselves into. Taking machines. And now 3-1. We'll see if he does it again on the 3-1. Astros pitching has walked 7 on the afternoon. Feldman 2 of them. That just an inning and 2/3. And then 5 walks charged to Paul Clemens. Walk number 8 on the afternoon for the Astros pitching staff. That'll put runners at first and second. 1 out for the 9-hitter Aaron Hicks. That was Tom Brunansky we were looking at, and hitting coach for the Twins. Maybe the philosophy that's been brought on. They have done a nice job in terms of on-base percentage this year. Nonetheless, the Twins in last place in the American League Central. Tigers on top of Chicago, Cleveland, KC, and the Twins. Twins, though, just 5 games back. Williams has worked 2 2/3 innings. And brings the strike. It's 1-1. For the Astros, it's game 63. That means after today, 99 games remaining. And on the hands, it's fouled back. Aaron Hicks laid down a sacrifice bunt in the 4th inning. Twins put 4 on the board in that frame, 3 in the 2nd, and those 3 in the 2nd against Feldman, all unearned. So Scott Feldman comes out with the ERA actually lowering today. He's at 4.12. But he stands to lose it. 2-2 the count. The bullpen has been getting a lot more action lately. The starting pitchers have not been getting as deep into games. Coincidentally or not, when the starting pitchers started to get deeper into games, going 7 innings, that's when the bullpen got better. And we've seen a lot of work for the bullpen recently, and don't know if that might be factoring in. It stays at 2-2.
You like to think you're intense every time you come into a game, but a lot of times if you're coming into games that are 7-0, it's going to be a little bit different mentality as opposed to in recent days where that bullpen's been coming out off a lot of rest, but going into some, pressure-filled situations, but it's an enjoyable pressure because the team has had leads.
When it comes to starting pitching, the Astros are 7th in the American League at .391. Oakland A's lead, followed by the Tigers, Blue Jays, Angels. Some of those teams that are either leading or close to being in the lead in their divisions. Starting pitching means so much as the count runs filled. Of course, bullpens get a lot of blame or credit depending on what the case may be. The Astros are dead last in that regard. .470 the ERA for the Astros bullpen. The Oakland A's again right on top at .259. Interestingly, the Tigers are just above the Astros, so the Tigers and Toronto Blue Jays, Angels, Yankees all have had troubles with their bullpens. And down on strikes is Hicks, so that's the 2nd out of the inning.
Since George Springer has made this ball club on May 8th, you can see the numbers getting increasingly better. But down on the bottom there is what Ash, you're alluding to, that 3.09 ERA is 4th in the major leagues since that time. And with that ERA getting lower, the wins are getting better. 17 since May 8th.
May 8th being that day in Detroit when George Springer went oppo with that home run.
My fault?
No, that's good. Actually, you left me something to say.
You got plenty to say there, because
instead of just saying wow, I had a little something to add, because there's been a lot.
I'm testing you. I'm making sure you're listening to what I'm saying.
Oh, I listen to every last word. Big mistake on my part sometimes, but there has been a lot, by the way, of wow in terms of George Springer.
And the starting pitching. I think they've done a great job.
Great job.
Dallas Keuchel emerging as the staff ace.
Yeah, and I think yesterday is really intriguing with Dallas Keuchel, who was not at his best and yet pitched 6 shutout innings. That to me says an awful lot about how good he has become. Again, the best starting staffs in the American League from 1 on down: Oakland, Detroit, Toronto, and that's a big surprise. The Angels also a surprise. Seattle and the Yankees, then Houston. Line drive to center field, dropping. It'll drop in front of Alex Presley, and a run will score. Second hit of the inning to go with a walk. The Twins add a run. It's 8-0. By the way, failed to mention that Dexter Fowler is done with his day, as Alex Presley has moved to center field. Robbie Grossman is also in left field.
Danny Santana, 4 hits, 5 RBIs, matching his season total, as we get a chance to look back and see what Dallas Keuchel did on his evening. Wasn't electric by any means, but still did a great job of keeping the ball down in the zone. Got his strikeouts when he could. Saw the defense by Matty Dominguez helping out Dallas Keuchel in some big situations. But yeah, continues to pitch shutout baseball.
So Jerome Williams is done with his day. The Astros will go to the bullpen once again. It'll be pitcher number 3 on the afternoon. Make that number 4 for the Astros. And Dallas Keuchel with quite a resume in terms of people he has beaten this year.
Yeah, that's not bad. A couple of Cy Young Award winners in there. Phil Hughes turning his season around.
And a guy like Iwakuma has not won a Cy Young Award, but heck of a pitcher. And then there's Garrett Richards.
Yeah,
wow,
man.
how about the stuff we saw from him?
That guy is no slouch. He's got a future ahead of him.
Yeah, so Dallas Keuchel has been really good, and he doesn't seem to let anything bother him, who he happens to be facing on a given day, what the team may look like in terms of the batting order. He just goes out and does his business. Jerome Williams, rather effective afternoon, as Paul Clemens saw things fall apart on him. So now it's Tony Sipp coming on, and again pitcher number 4 for the Astros.
Still pretty good numbers after Tony Sipp last night had a rough outing, got beat up a little bit, giving up a home run. The right-handers getting to him. Still, both those averages against sub 200 by quite a bit. Whip still down below 1. 1 walk, 14 Ks in 10 1/3 innings. Great numbers. Try and wash away what happened last night. Astros won. Now you just come back, try and find that groove again for Tony Sipp.
Just his 12th outing on the year. 14 strikeouts in 10 1/3 innings. A little bit better velocity than I anticipated for a guy that has kicked it around a little bit. An effective left-hander in this bullpen. Where's Julia when we need her? Wanted to see what also.
She's doing a Longhorn dance right now.
It must be donut time. Texas Donuts. Longhorns are the winners, huh?
I believe so.
No, nice job by the Houston Cougars this year, as well as the Rice Owls.
Texas baseball was really good this year, collegiately.
Yeah, it tends to be a hotbed. But
playing in that regional at Rice.
Yep. Oregon State has been very good in recent years.
UC Irvine beat Oregon State to go, which is pretty impressive.
How'd your Cal Bears do?
Not so good. They finished 6th or 7th in the Pac-12.
That's a tough division, though. So much baseball is played out on the West Coast. We're set to go. Still in the 7th inning. 8-0 Twins. And Tony Sipp finds the strike zone as Brian Dozier takes it. Take. That's what we're seeing from the Twins hitters.
Got a lot more patience than I do.
Don't separate yourself from your booth mates now. Check swing going through. 0-2 the count. The skies remain gray here in Minneapolis. And a swing and a miss. Changeup left up and away. That'll do it for the Twins in the 7th, but they add another and have extended that lead to 8-0.
He took advantage of Houston Astros' aggressiveness, showing a great sinker. The guy's 6'6", creates a great downward plane. Astro hitters unable to answer it. Backed it up with that great slider. 7 innings strong, only giving up 3 hits, walking 3, and striking out 5 on the afternoon for Kyle Gibson.
So the Twins go to the bullpen. And there was a nice afternoon for Kyle Gibson. It just never felt like the Astros bats could get in, and maybe to the credit of Gibson here this afternoon. Jared Burton, as he works at 1-2 with a 6.46 ERA. Burton last worked a couple of days ago against the Brewers, an inning with 2 hits and a couple of runs against him. Had control issues this year. 11 walks in 23 innings. You combine that with 24 hits, and he has had just under a runner and a half per inning. Robbie Grossman now, his first plate appearance of the day. He's batting in the Dexter Fowler spot. That's the leadoff spot for the Astros as Robbie takes outside. Dexter Fowler had a day. He had a couple of hits and a walk in 3 plate appearances. Line drive to center field. Coming on now and having to dive to make the play is Hicks. But he gets it done. So Robbie Grossman robbed. I don't think Aaron Hicks read this all that well.
It's the hardest one, is that ball smoked at you when you're playing the outfield, trying to judge where it's going, and Robbie Grossman actually stayed inside that ball pretty well and kind of sliced a little bit as Hicks came in to make the play.
With 1 out, Altuve stands in, looking for that first knock of the day. He's 0 for 3, flying out twice and grounding out. Jared Burton, a South Carolina boy. Levi Jared Burton.
LJ.
Yeah. You going to go with it? What's going to be
It's not jumping at me.
What's the name for George Springer? There's got to be some kind of a. I mean, we've come up with, everybody's talking Springleton, and but you can't call George Springleton. He's just a part of it. Who's George going to be?
I'm not sure.
Slider deemed to strike, evens the count at 2-2. I don't think.
Wish I was more clever. Beast from the East. He's being from Connecticut.
Yeah.
Freak show.
He is the freak show. There's no question about that.
Those have all been used. He's got to have something unique, sustainable. I don't think he's Curious George anymore.
Got a clever Twitter handle, though. It's G Springer 4.
Wow. Reached deep for that one.
Most of the guys do. Line drive down the left field side. That's a fair ball. So Jose Altuve is going to add to that hit total with this double down the left field side. The hit machine added once again. Altuve with his 84th hit of the year, 19th two-bagger. It comes with one out.
How did he keep this thing fair?
Pitch looked like it was right on the hands.
Watch him bring those hands in, barreled it up, but usually that ball kind of hooks foul. But he does such a good job of staying inside that pitch that it stayed true down that left field line. Pretty impressive work by the little fella.
What do you mean? And I've heard so many people use that term as George Springer comes to the plate. Keeping the hands inside the baseball. Because I have never seen a swing in my life where the hands got outside the baseball.
But you've seen the barrel get ahead of the hands.
Yes. So for me, I'm wondering, does the term actually mean keeping the hands ahead of the barrel?
More or less.
Yeah, because I was asking John Maley, the hitting coach for the Astros, that very question. He said, doesn't mean anything to me. We don't use that phrase. He said the same thing. I've never seen the hands get outside of the baseball. So therefore, what does keeping the hands inside of the baseball mean? And I've long been curious. Great swing by Springer. But yeah, I was curious what it means to you. Does it mean hands ahead of the barrel?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got to. I mean, just because it's a phrase doesn't mean it's always correct, or it's a key word that helps guys. Yeah. Stay inside the ball.
No, and I was just curious what it exactly means.
Well, you're keeping your hands closer to your body. If your hands get outside your body and you get that barrel out in front of your hands, you're going to kill yourself. You're not going to have a chance. Your barrel is going to stay through the zone longer if you keep your hands inside.
Okay.
If you do what Chris Carter does sometimes, where he brings his hands to the ball and then brings them out of the zone, that's not a good swing. What you're trying to do is keep those hands inside the ball and allow that barrel to stay through the zone a lot longer.
Little tapper. And this is going to be an infield single for George Springer. So he doesn't hit it hard, but he comes up with a knock right on the heels of the double by Altuve. And the Astros have runners at first and third on back-to-back hits. It brings up Jason Castro. Yeah. And, again, it's just that perspective where I'm sure a lot of fans, as you see, that's the home run pitch. I don't know why George is just dribbling that pitch.
He's human.
He says with tongue deeply implanted in cheek. It's the pitch he hit for the home run to right field last night. Having not played in your generation, I never, ever heard that phrase until years later. And therefore, for me, hands are always, you'd be hard pressed to ever get hands outside of the baseball. So therefore,
outside the baseball, keeping the hands on the inside of the swing, I guess, if you want to be totally specific in the terminology, because you can cast. And the second your hands cast out away from your body, the barrel is out and starting to come ahead of the hands. If you stay inside the ball, your barrel is going to stay inside and allow it to stay through the zone a lot longer, as opposed to if you get your hands out away from your body and cast that barrel out over the plate too soon.
So it's a phrase that has specific meaning to players maybe who played in that generation.
Because if you're inside the ball, you're not going to get around it and roll over a lot of these pitches that you see. Maybe that's the problem. You get a pitch down the middle and you get around the ball and the barrel's out ahead of the hands and you roll over to the second baseman. You want to shoot yourself
around the ball with the barrel of the bat.
Yes. Yeah. But that's when your hands, as opposed to staying in that slot and allowing that barrel to come down and top and stay through the zone.
Right.
It's when it gets away from your body and your hands go with it, and then you start swinging around the ball. And what I was saying about Chris Carter sometimes is he goes to the contact point and then out of the zone. And that's real tough to time up hitting a baseball that quickly.
So it's one of those phrases, though it's keeping hands inside a ball, it's possibly meaning to some guys hands ahead of the barrel of the bat.
Well, you don't bring your hands to the baseball to hit.
Right.
Nor
do you put your hands outside of the baseball. And therefore,
guys have done it. If you get your hands outside the baseball and it's a breaking ball, then you got to bring your hands back inside.
Jason Castro has struck out. That's the second out here in the inning. So the runner's still on the corners now with 2 down for Matt Dominguez. Okay, well,
it's all semantics.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really remarkable how you can tuck the hands that close to the chest to keep that ball fair. Dominguez hits the slider in the air. Center field should be easy for Hicks. And the Astros fail in the opportunity to get a run on the board here in the 8th inning. They leave a pair with a couple of hits. Still 8-0 Minnesota.
Twins over the Astros. And as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. We're heading to the Astros game. Good stuff there. Tweet your photo to hashtag CSNH fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast that's brought to you by AT&T. Guys.
Thanks a lot, Julia. 8-0 the Twins lead it. Some of the folks enjoying the great food here in Minneapolis.
Oh, they went all in and got the bucket. Good for you.
I thought I might see you take a run for the bucket.
Almost ran for the bucket after eating the bucket. Dual purpose. How about that?
Yeah, napkins take on a new meaning here in Minnesota. I don't know. Is that a napkin or is he just cold here? For a second, there was Scott Ellerton in the white Twins cap back there. Just a quick glance. Twins have built up an 8-0 lead on 6 hits on the afternoon. And for good reason, the walks have been a big part of things. 8 walks issued by Astros pitching. Scott Feldman, just an inning and 2/3. He allowed just 1 hit. He didn't allow an earned run. And yet gone in the 2nd inning. Tony Sipp, pitcher number 4 on the day for Houston, has worked just a third of an inning as he sets sail here in the 8th. And the first pitch in for a called strike. Eduardo Nunez will grab a bat and hit for Joe Mauer, who winds up 0 for 4 on his day. Nunez just 49 at bats on the season, has the count at a ball and a strike.
This game's flying along.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is kind of a poster child for we need to find ways to speed the game up. $27,732 on hand here this afternoon. A game that started with no delay, despite the fact that there was no hitting on the field today. Tarps were down, but the rain stopped effectively probably an hour or so before the ball game. Maybe had some little drizzles. They got the tarp off. Game started on time, and Ron Gardenhire's boys have been highly efficient. Ground ball hit to short. Marwin, glove, spins, throws, and not in time. Great play by Marwin Gonzalez, but it results in a base hit for Eduardo Nunez.
Heck of an effort. Wow. Pretty good body control to be able to jump and spin and still
watch the throw. Throw comes before he ever gets the eyes turned back to first base.
Good court awareness.
Magic Johnson with a fine bounce pass. Hit number 7 for the Twins. Brings up the cleanup man, Josh Willingham. He's 1 for 3. He's also been hit by a pitch. Scored a run, drove in a run. 13 ribbies on the year for Willingham. Hit high in the air, left center field. Coming on is Presley. He'll call off Grossman in out number 1. Bring up the third baseman, Trevor Plouffe. 0 for 3. He's drawn a walk. He's reached on an error and scored a run. That second inning that did in Scott Feldman. 2 errors. One charge to Matt Dominguez and the other to Marwin Gonzalez. In that inning to go with the errors, a hit batter, a couple of walks. And before it was over, Scott Feldman was done with his day. Paul Clemens came on and got the final out without any further damage. Fell behind 3-0 on Joe Mauer. He eventually got it to 3-1 before Mauer flied out. But then it got ugly for Paul Clemens. He wound up walking 5 in 2 innings, allowing just 2 hits but 4 runs, all of those earned. Drive left center field. Grossman over to make the play. Out number 2 here in the 8th inning.
Great guests, hot topics, and no holds barred debate. Kevin Eschenfelder serves it up fresh every single night on Sports Talk Live every weeknight at 5 p.m. only on Comcast Sportsnet. Monday's big guest is the Astros Director of Amateur Scouting, Mike Elias. Probably have plenty to talk about with him.
And the Twins have a left-hander throwing in their pen. That is Caleb Thielbar, likely to take over in the 9th inning.
We need Kevin to really grill Mike Elias and figure out what the logarithms and all the inside info on the scouting and fun stuff like that. See if we can grill him a little bit and have him divulge some of that information.
I guess I want to know, is Mike Elias elated right now? Or is he tepid about how things have gone? Or, where does he sit?
This is their time to shine. draft. They live for this stuff.
Well, it seems
put
that
all those bean counters into a room and say, here's a ton of numbers and some names and go for it, boys.
It seems that the experts, wherever you turn, felt that the Astros made the correct pick with number 1. This line drive just fouled down the right field side.
Now, they always talk about that first pick as opposed to all those first rounders. I know each team has an opportunity to draft in that first round, but there is so much more emphasis put on the number 1 pick.
Well, you want that best guy available anywhere. And again, it just seems that number 1 was pretty darn close to a consensus this year.
Yeah.
Now, that wasn't the case last year.
Not even with Correa.
Right.
That was a gutsy pick, so to speak, but it looks like a pretty darn good pick right now with the numbers he's putting up. And after meeting him in spring training, he seems like a great kid with a high ceiling.
Brady Aiken, that number 1 pick, the left-hand pitcher out of high school in Southern California, still 17 years of age. He's a couple months away from turning 18. But he's got some time to put it together. And a lot of people feel like he's put it together quite well. Inside corner, caught looking. Chris Parmelee, that'll do it for the Twins. They get a leadoff hit and leave him. We go to the 9th inning. Twins lead over the Astros 8-zip. Baseball is brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota, 8-0 the Twins lead here in Game 2, trying to even the series. And it's been all Twins all afternoon. They will turn to their bullpen once again and bring on the left-hander Caleb Thielbar here to finish things in the 9th inning. Thielbar in 23 games this year, 2-0, 3.66 the ERA. Just a couple of dingers allowed in just about 20 innings. He's a Minnesota boy, born in Northfield, and went to college at North Dakota State. Here in the 9th inning, Thielbar, the left-hander, will face the left-hand hitting John Singleton, then Alex Presley and Jesus Guzman. So a couple of left-handed bats for him. Instead, the Astros will send Chris Carter out to bat for Alex Presley. So Singleton will be the only left-handed bat. John Singleton 1 for 3 on the day. Thielbar, third pitcher of the day for the Twins. Ball hit in the air and deep down the right field side, but not deep enough into the corner. Goes Parmelee. See, the Twins have made a change defensively. That's Eduardo Nunez in right field to make the play. And out number 1. With 1 out, it brings up Chris Carter, his first appearance of the day. Chris Carter, in 181 at bats, hitting 193. Does have the 9 home runs. So that paces out probably around, I don't know, 25, 26 home runs on the year. He'll be retired as he flies to center field quickly. 2 outs here in the 9th inning, and Jesus Guzman, the last hope for the Astros. But if Carter were to hit, let's say 26, 27 home runs this year and hit around 200, how's that sit for you?
I'm not a fan. I don't know if he'd get there if I had choices to make. I just don't know how you can allow a guy to go out there hitting 200, because that's a lot of outs to go with those 20, 27, 29 home runs.
Jesus Guzman hitting 204. 103 at bats officially. Now kind of a clunker for the club this afternoon. After coming into Minnesota and winning game 1. Dallas Keuchel picking up his 7th win of the year in last night's game. 7-3 on the year for Dallas now. He just continues to be such a bright spot. This one's popped up right side near the seats. Coming over is Mauer, and that's not Mauer now. They've got defensively.
Parmelee moved in from right field.
Parmelee came into first base. Okay.
Parmelee starting the day in right field, moving into the infield.
2-2 the count on Guzman. And now 3-2. Given the opportunity, Marwin Gonzalez will bat. In the air, left center field, coming on. Hicks dives and makes a whale of a play. And with that, the ball game is over. Aaron Hicks with a beautiful diving catch to finish this one. 3 fly ball outs in the 9th inning, picked up by Thielbar, and this one a gem.
What a heck of a way to end this ball game. Great effort on Hicks. That just puts a period at the end of a very long sentence and a very long night for the Houston Astros.
Well, the Minnesota Twins win it 8-0. All Twins all day long.